I'm the one that screwed your ass. Winter is coming because I'm coming too, baby. I'm coming. I'm gonna come. Woo! My show, I tell you when you can come. But I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you next week. Nobody's gonna stop me. No! The man who gave birth.
My God, you're a big bitch. The bigger they are, the harder they come.
I'm gonna rip your f***ing spine out. I'm gonna put it in chocolate. And then I'm gonna suck on your f***ing t***. And then I'm gonna you and have my f***ing shoulder. Ah!
Jimmy Garvin, you touch me in a personal way you never touched me before.
Biscuits and gravy of a whole lot of ass. Milkomania is running wild. Very clean.
Nut. Pussy.
You've got balls.
You have a vagina.
I don't even know if that's PG.
You're not even a real journalism. That's right.
Becca, please. No more shots. It's B3CCA.
And Hopper's in, bitch.
Step into the party and they all know me. Life of the party, I get in for free.
I live for the party. I wanna pop some Molly. Might get a little naughty. Meet my girls in the lobby. Cause we all wanna party. We wanna rock our bodies. Step into the scene and the whole club copy. Girls like us, we don't give a fuck. Girls like us, we party and get drunk. Girls like us, we don't give a fuck. Girls like us, we party. Give a fuck, 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 give a fuck. Watch me take my shots in the VIP. We're just getting started, ain't gonna stop till 3.
Wait, I said stop till 3.
Yeah.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Let's go look.
Okay. What do you want?
Could we join?
Girls only. Girl. No.
No. Girls only.
No.
But we have party favors.
Okay. Come on.
Yeah.
It's B3CCA. Every day you know I slay cash. We looking like cash. Look so good, want a piece of this ass.
Fast, I wanna go real fast. Hair down, ass up, give you whiplash. Gas, need to hit that gas. Pack it up, spark up, let me hit that.
Vroom, vroom, bitch.
Let me hit that. Let me hit that. Let me hit that. I wanna go real fast. Girls like us, we don't give a fuck. Girls like us, we don't give a fuck.
Okay, maybe one more.
Alex are back here. Hold on. No.
He's just standing there blinded by the light and close that door.
Fucking amateur out right here.
I didn't mean to do that.
Nice. How did the shoot go?
Great. It was one of the best, actually. I'm very excited for this. Thank you, everybody.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. I am your host, the infallible Phil Mark. That is Phil S. Mark, for you Marks out there. How are you doing? Hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure after the live is over, you guys go and type the video. It's the new meta. What's up, guys? Again, I'm Phil Marks. We have AEW Dynamite ratings surge recently, and how it's not really what it appears. There's more than meets the eye when it comes to all of this, but AEW has been more consistent lately. Worst SmackDown ever as voted by Cage Match ratings, but who gives a fuck about that? I didn't even bookmark those because who cares? But it wasn't a very good SmackDown. We're going to talk about it. I put a poll in the chat, guys. If you're listening or checking this out on X, please hit heart and retweet. For some reason, so StreamYard revamped everything. Like, it has a new look and their logos change. Everything's like new, but their connection with X is like fucked. It doesn't like make a post. So if you are seeing the posts that I had to manually put up and you're watching on X, hit heart or retweet or whatever, okay? And share this thing around for us over on X. Also, Steve Maclin had a scary injury in TNA at Sacrifice. My sacrifice. And, Mike Santana caught a bit of heat. It's the Biggie duets. No, he caught a bit of heat for it. And we're going to get into all of that. We have news, TNA news, WWE news. Of course, Collision's on tonight. UFC is on, which is what I'm watching, of course. And I am checking out UFC, which is, I think, just like a fight night. I don't even think it's like a numbered. Yeah, it's just a fight night. But Adesanya's fighting, and that's going to be awesome. So everybody hit like, hit subscribe. Did I plug everything? Yeah, become a member. Memberships are 99 cents. You can gift one as well. And then patreon.com/pro wrestle times, where it's going down. And lots of stuff coming over on Patreon. And shout out my guy JJ Alexander. I want to shout him out because he is out of surgery again, and everything was all good on that front. I mean, I'm sure he's in pain and not feeling the best, but he's it was his 54th surgery, and he kicked out once again, leg intact. Right? So everybody, good energy towards him, and thank Phil. That's it. Yeah, that's all my plugs. Okay, appreciate you guys for being here. Let's get right into stuff. We have indie news to get into. We have miscellaneous. You can super chat in. I don't think I mentioned that. Show your goddamn support over on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. So at 613-805-42 says, you watching UFC tonight? I am, good sir. I am watching UFC, and I missed, I want to say, a couple of the fights. Chase Hooper, that's his name, right? I know I'm going to butcher it. Between wrestling and MMA, there's the dream, Chase Hooper, Ben Askren's son. He got KO'd in round one, and it was like the ref saved him. And some people, I don't know, I haven't checked MMA Twitter, but some people are probably like, that was an early stoppage, but I don't know, man. He was just getting banged out, like the ref kind of saved him. It's pretty crazy. He just got thrown into the deep end early. But, guys, so let's get into stuff. Let's just get right into miscellaneous news.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah, so Hooper is trending right now, actually, for getting TKO'd. That's how much people like that guy, and it's unfortunate, but he just got thrown to the wolves. Speaking of thrown to the wolves and Hoopers, okay, House of Glory Wrestling, they're loading up for Las Vegas WrestleMania weekend. Brody King versus Zilla Fatu for the HOG title. What? Bandito versus Amazing Red. That's fucking awesome. And it's funny because Dave was saying that Bandito isn't booked more in AEW because of the visa issues. And then he went on to say that like Trump pardoned people in AEW. Like Trump pardoned people. That's just so vague in general. As it pertains to wrestling, I'm sure he did, right? He pardoned like sports organizations from needing visas. I should elaborate on that a little bit more. And so Dave was like, so Bandito can work in Canada and international and all that shit, but like in America, whoa, he can't work for AEW, but then he's working Amazing Red in Vegas. So I don't really know. Maybe I'm fucking up with what Dave was trying to say, but I don't know.
Well, you know, the young superstar, you know, babyface, you know, the former heel thing. So
you got Charlie versus Shotzi, and then you got Ricky Sosa versus Cash Flow in a singles match. Bang, bang, Sosa, latest TNA superstar, pro wrestler, TNA talent, whatever you want to call him. He's going to be on that show too, and he's just blowing up. People want him. HOG puts together big crowds, and they get big-name wrestlers, and Sosa his entrance is going to go viral for sure from that night. And JD will be like, oh my gosh, Sosa, let me ask you about how you came up with this entrance song. I mean, I'm a bit of a musician myself. I'm over it. So speaking of the indies, OVW went down recently, and Mick Foley made a surprise appearance as a special guest referee, showed up there a couple times.
Whoa! Yes! What? Oh, there he is! Ready to go! He's got his referee stripes on, and of course the plaid, and the fanny pack. And
Katie, hold my fanny pack.
Mick Foley, the special guest referee, the hardcore legend himself, WWE Hall of Famer.
You guys want this to happen so badly? Nothing's stopping you. Let's ring that bell.
Ring it! Yes!
There you go. Ring it and cling it. In other indie news, the future of JCW is at stake. This is a bit of a longer clip, but bro, Vince Russo, let me tell you that I'm in the news twice here at PWT tonight, folks. And this Phil Marks is a mark. Listen, he's challenging Violent J, and if Violent J agrees to get back in the ring and wrestle, then pretty much the winner takes all. It's Flair versus Vince McMahon. Or is that is that who Vince fought for, like, supremacy? Then he had to unleash the NWO and shit. He like lost ownership to Flair or whatever. Or is that the video game? That might just be SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, which was just a tremendous game. That might just be the storyline there. No, I'm pretty sure that like mimicked what happened in reality, obviously, when the NWO came back at No Way Out and whatnot, but you guys get what I'm getting at here. It's a battle of supremacy. Vince Russo, Violent J, winner takes all. Let's take a look at
the proposal is Violent J is going to pick two men.
Bro, let me tell you what the proposal is, bro. Juggalo Championship Wrestling, bro. I invented the insane clown posse. Hand to God, bro. This isn't storytelling.
Vito is going to pick two men, and we are going to have a match. And if Jay's team,
the one fan, shut the fuck up,
team wins the match, then I will sell 1% of the company to Jay. and Violent J and Vince Russo will be 50-50.
To Jay and Silent Bob, Kevin Smith, Bro, get out here, Bro.
Co-owners of the company. If Big Vito wins the match, I will sell that same 1%.
So Vito is representing Vinny Rue or what? I'm not keeping up with JCW, so Vito is going to wrestle. Thank God we're not going to see Vince Russo try and wrestle again.
To Big Vito, but Violent J will sell his 49% share of JCW to Vito LaGrasso. All the juggalos, the entire world is waiting on your answer. What's it gonna be, Joe? Do you accept the proposal I laid out for you?
I see you got a big question for me there, Vince. I got a question for you. Why? Why the hell would I do such a thing? Why the hell would I put up risking losing 49% of my company that I built from the ground up? Why would I risk losing this company that was once just a seed I planted and is now a fucking
he's dropping F-bomb.
jungle?
Hey, JD, I see JD from NY an hour ago. Genuinely curious. Have they ever complained about this same thing with John Moxley, or is all of the Observer just completely fucking shot? Go. Meanwhile, Phil Marks, not an hour ago, but holy shit, like yesterday, I tweeted that same thing. My guy, what's going on
thing,
here?
bro. Sure thing.
At least, JD, all I ask, please just at least call me Pro Wrestle Times next time you talk about me, not Pro Wrestling Times. Get it through your fucking skull, huh? Yeah, 3 hours ago, I said, okay, now do John Moxley. Anyways, man, I don't know. Are you guys into this? You guys can see how fucking excited I am about the ownership supremacy of JCW. I'm over here fucking doom scrolling the timeline off to the side. Yeah. Okay, so in other indie wrestling news, Maple Leaf Pro got a TV deal, and MLP will be on TSN starting with their Mayhem show. So it's going to be called MLP Mayhem, like the old WCW game. That fucking rules. TSN is Canadian ESPN, essentially, okay? So ESPN holds a 20% minority stake in the network, but the majority owner is Bell Media that owns 80%. And TSN's a joint venture, but they air ESPN stuff, obviously, because they own 20% of it. And it's like a subsidiary, essentially, and they use like TSN. Imagine the ESPN font, but TSN. So we have that in Canada, that's like always been essentially our ESPN. And so AEW has been on TSN for a while. I'm not sure if they still are, but everything aired on there. I'm pretty sure Raw was on TSN at one point. At one point, SmackDown was on like Sportsnet. That's another Canadian thing there, bud. But anyways, you have Riccaboni, you have Callis, and you have Mauro Ranallo, which absolutely rules as a commentary team, if you will. I don't know if you need Riccaboni and Mauro, but they do the damn thing. And they're going to be on TSN with Mayhem, MLP Mayhem. This rules. I mean, I haven't been watching any Maple Leaf Pro. A clip went viral of like Finger Shea and Rich Swann trading poison destroyer ranas, and I'm sitting here like, okay, bud, I don't fucking know if I don't know if this is for me. I was hyped when MLP first became a thing, but again, they're the way TNA is associated with AEW, that's the same way Maple Leaf Pro has been associated with AEW, just not publicly and for way longer at this point.
From the very beginning, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling's mission has been to showcase our outstanding Canadian wrestling talent by having them stand side by side with the very best in the world. In order to do that, we need a platform big enough for them to be seen. Tonight, we take a huge step into making that a reality.
This UFC fight is a fucking bloodbath right now, guys. Tune in if you're not watching it. If you like John Moxley matches or the main event of Revolution, tune in right now to UFC Paramount.
For
NordVPN.com/Pro Wrestle Times.
generations,
In my whole life, I have never been afraid of nothing.
Canada helped define professional wrestling.
The place is going wild. Angela Mosca has realized a dream.
From packed arenas to unforgettable moments, they were heroes, carrying this country's fighting spirit into the ring.
When you get someone like me who ain't afraid to die.
It was a tradition rooted in excellence.
We've done it all. We've bled, we've sweat, and we've paid the price.
For more than 3 decades, Canadian wrestling has been waiting to return to the national stage. This July, that moment arrives. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Mayhem.
It's time to reignite the flame of a wrestling dynasty. This is Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling.
No control, no escape.
Premieres nationwide on TSN. A new
Yeah, this rules, and I like that D'Amore isn't just overly focusing on like, okay, only Canadians, like we're only going to push Canadians. Like he's just doing what he was doing this whole time and staying the course. Now, again, something that nobody fucking really talks about. I've brought it up a bunch of times on the show just to reiterate in case there's anybody new listening. If anything pops off in MLP, Tone gets dibs on that shit. And in exchange, at least this is to my, I'm not a fucking dirt sheet.
Wrestling's not fake!
Don't listen to me, but it's essentially like what TNA has with WWE, where Scott D'Amore can, you know, their guys can go wrestle there. It's no issue. It's no issue. And you know that Tone will do switcheroos if there's an issue. He did it to Ricky Saints with Jericho on the fucking GCW show and then brought Cardona in and all this. Like he'll flip-flop and fly on you if he actually cares. But so that's why you see like TNA guys like HOG, he's got it locked in, and then MLP is another one where Tone's got it locked in. It's just not like a publicly overly stated thing. You know what I'm saying? And has been partnered with MLP longer than TNA was partnered with WWE. People just don't melt down. It's just that WWE made it public because that's how you help. But Scott D'Amore is a smart guy. Now, I've said this. Hey, being overtly affiliated with AEW, not like working with them, do a show with AEW. Nobody gives a fuck. But like when you're overtly, like Stardom was just overtly affiliated with AEW, they dropped it. Why? It was not helping them. And then what did Tone do? Instead of bringing in Stardom people, which of course, because the partnership ended, but then what did he do? He just scooped some of these girls. He just scooped them up. And so with New Japan, the same thing. They've been overtly, I'm watching this guy bleed to death in this UFC fight. Sorry, guys, I'm distracted a little bit. With New Japan, the overt relationship with AEW, I think harmed them, and they still work with AEW, but they laid off it a little bit. It's not so crossover-ish. Even their United States show. They do their United States shows and they don't put fucking AEW right up front and center like they did before. And why? I thought the whole point was AEW is going to help them in America. Whoa. And so MLP and Scott D'Amore, he's smart. He knows that Tone's got bones, okay? Tony's got bucks. And he knows that if he's works with them, fine, but he'll also work with TNA and whatever, as long as he doesn't cross, because like, let's face it, they're not sending people like the way Josh Barnett works with GCW or pardon me, works with WWE with GCW as well. Like GCW is part of the ID thing. So I doubt you'll see like Thatcher, Pete Dunne shows up at MLP, you know, that sort of thing. That won't fucking happen. But you can work with Mike Bailey and shit. Just don't be overtly tied to AEW. And Scott D'Amore knows that because he's so goddamn smart.
Era begins.
I hope I'm making sense with all of this nonsense.
Standing in awe. New stars. New rivalries. A new standard. This isn't a comeback. We are going back to the future with a return. This is a reckoning.
Kylie Ray, that rules. And then fucking Giselle Shaw's there as the champion.
Canadian institution. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Mayhem arrives this July on TSN. Where else are you going to see it?
Now, in fairness, they're hyping like Mike Bailey and Billy Gunn and all this shit. Like, you're not going to have them on your show every week unless, and hear me out, if D'Amore's, he's a smart guy. Do, smart guy. Who remembers Smart Guy? Underrated show. Unless he's a smart guy, he's big brain, which I think he is. And he tapes like if he can get like a few shits out of Mike Bailey, you know, tapes like 3-4 weeks and like a night or two nights. Who knows? I don't know how you set that shit up, but yeah, that would be good for his business if he was able to do that. And hey, if Tone has like a feeder system where he sends people down and shit, I'm all for that. It'll help them get reps in. It'll help develop people. It'll help them find stars, possibly. I'm all for it. I've said Tone needs like a developmental TNA type partnership. He should have locked in, and not just like on the indies, MJF goes and fights whoever on the indies. It can't be that. It has to be something like an MLP. And look, they're on TV and in Canada, they're Bud. So I'm sure that'll be on like Tubi or some shit in America. Anyways, moving along. Exciting times. MLP is live now too. Chat is saying. So Diva Mania. Ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell, rock. Melina, Ariane, Andrew. I don't know why I said it like that. Ariane, because I was trying to pronounce Ariane correctly. And so I said Andrew. But she is the Funkadactyl, right? Melina Perez, Layla L from Laycool, right? Celeste Bonin, which is, who is she again? Is that just her name? I think she was someone else. Anyways, you have, who else is on this thing? Jay Vidal. You guys remember him from TNA? And I don't know, there's a Fan Diva catwalk competition, Diss the Diva promo contest, a bunch of shit. Go and check out Diva Mania. Free plugs for the indies here on PWT. Do it all the time. So, in other indies news here, Jose the Assistant challenged Paul Walter Hauser, in essence, to put on a show. So Paul Walter Hauser started up a new Twitter, and this is really him. It's just Wrestler Hauser. So he doesn't have his actor Twitter anymore, which in fairness, he should have did this a long time ago. Paul Walter Hauser, actor. He's Mole Man. He's in a bunch of shit. He's Stingray and fucking Cobra Kai and all that. And he's in a bunch of stuff. He's playing Chris Farley coming up. Mick Foley as well. So he's crushing it, right? But he's a serious wrestler, but a serious wrestler in that he's like really old school and wants to take like the Onita route of just let me go to these obscure shows and try and pack houses, counterculture. He's like real into indie wrestling, and he's done some deathmatch stuff. He's fallen through tables, hit the back of his fucking head. He's wrestled some names. He's been put in some positions. He's not like the absolute shits, but he just kind of looks like a schluck. He's like a guy you'd run into in a comic book store or something, you know? So anyways, he makes a list. Paul Walter Hauser, this is his legit Twitter. He made it separate now. Wrestling, and then his actor one, I'm sure, will come back where he'll just promote like movies and stuff like, which is the way to do it, right? But indie wrestlers, I would sign if I owned a wrestling company, and he made a list. KJ Orso, Zilla Fatu, Maserati, Beastman, Joey Janela, Ben Bishop, Brittany Brooks, Charles Mason. And maybe it's not really him, but he got the blue check mark. And then he fucking also dropped a video I saw where he's like, it's me. Now, maybe some crazy person got a video of him recently from his Instagram, then re-uploaded it on X. That could be within the realm of possibility. I do think it's him, though. I'm fairly confident. So anyways, Joey Janela, Ben Bishop, he just names people. The Andersons, Charles Crowley, Darian Bengston, one called Manders, Man Like Doris, Mad Dog Connolly, Violence is Forever. So Jose, the assistant, hits him up and goes, Paul, you have the money and connections to be able to run one event. Yeah, that's the thing. Hauser getting that Marvel money, and like he's been in a bunch of shit. I think he's won awards and shit too. He may have won Academy fucking awards at this point. Now, what awards has Paul Walter Hauser won? Because I go to the nerd shit. Yeah, he won a Primetime Emmy Award for Blackbird, a Golden Globe, a Critics' Choice Television Award, and then he's in like Marvel shit, and he's playing Mick Foley and Chris Farley. Like, that's a big deal. The Chris Farley movie, they're not even going to let, well, maybe today they would let it get made if it was shit, but I was going to say they wouldn't let a Chris Farley movie get made. I don't think today. The people who would be the ones who could okay that, I don't think would let it be made unless it was going to be good, and they were fairly certain of it. So anyways, so Jose the assistant's just like, you could take all that talent on your list, help them out money wise and exposure wise. You could also make it successful enough to make a profit and it be something new and fun for the fans. Seems like a win for everyone. Are you planning to run a pro wrestling event? And then Hauser goes, 2027 show, not promotion. Yeah, I'm with it, dude. Run a big, like, all-in type show, then disappear, and then come back and do it. This is the void that's being left with AEW now, is there's no, like, well, there is. Some indies would probably, Joey Janela, I'm sure, and, like, Brett Lauderdale would be like, oh, we run indie shows. I'm sure people would, like, scoff at what I'm about to say, but seriously, the super indie, like, the all-in show, where you can just pull all the names that everyone likes. And I mean, a lot of these, look at like the HOG lineup, like tell me that's not a fucking card that everyone likes, if you're like a sicko or a wacko in the wrestling trenches like us, the indies are thriving, but it would be cool if he could just make a list and these are all the people I'd sign. Okay, do a fucking show. And yeah, let's make it happen. Do something cool, have really good production. And then save it. Don't do it again for a year. Maybe don't even do it the next year. You do it in 2 years, and that would be cool. Just don't book yourself to beat whoever the NWA champion is, right? No, just joking. So in other news, Sidney Akeem says his newly introduced Soleil character. So, of course, Sidney Akeem, what was his name? Reggie, the sommelier. And he was Scripps, and now he's Soleil. So he went on the indies, and he started doing all this crazy-ass shit. And obviously he's doing all this crazy-ass shit because he was a Cirque du Soleil performer, and that's where they found him. And he's doing all this crazy shit on the indies, and I played highlights of it. I played clips of it. People weren't fucking with it. Let's just be honest. Like, I tried to hype Scripps up on the indies and shit. People just weren't fucking with it, even though, yes, he elegantly he's good at like doing flippy shit and making it look like mean, and we saw like in NXT before he left, I think he was without the mud, right? OTM. And he was sort of showing like his street side a little bit, and so he can combine the two well. But I think like, again, man, and I'm not saying he wasn't down with the mask, and Scripps might have not been the best thing ever, and it was kind of stupid, but did Vince McMahon and them know what was up with this dude? Like, yes, put a mask on him and make him be a luchador, like a black luchador, dude. How many of those do you see? You know what I mean? So it's like, go for that. Run with that, dude. That'll work. you can say what you want about like Vince, him being out of touch, and he severely was, and maybe this wasn't like spot on. Maybe this was too on the nose as far as like, I mean, this looks kind of cooler, right? This is like Axiom sort of. Anyways, Sidney Akeem is saying that Soleil is what he wanted Scripps to be, but he didn't have the full creative freedom. So this is like one of those Power Ranger type guys, and he's going by Soleil, and I hope he like pops off more. I think he thought that Tony Khan would be like knocking at his door and TNA would just be itching to sign him and all this shit. I think that's what he thought, and I think he thought he was going to go super viral wrestling matches on the indies and whatnot just because of like his natural athleticism. But yeah, dude, at the end of the day, it takes a gimmick. It's what you do around the shit in the ring. Truly, man. It always is and it always will be. Like, yes, what you do in there is important. It's good. It's important that you're good. But what you do around what you do in the ring is more important at the end of the day for weekly television, or if you're trying to get the biggest contract. And even Tony Khan knows that. Everybody knows that. So yeah, here's Soleil. He's like an Axiom type guy, which is way cooler than Scripps, right? And that's courtesy of Ropes and Riffs. So shout them out. In other indie news, we just have some funny stuff and some shoot fight stuff. Okay, so in indie news here is Cody Rhodes talking with Matt Cardona. And Matt Cardona shouts out a couple of guys like Paul Walter Hauser that he would like to see get signed to WWE. And these fellas may have had tryouts. In fact, they have. And one of these fellas may have been on PWT before. In fact, he has. And yeah, I think with people talking about some of these guys, sign them up. Even like a TNA could benefit from. If you just hired that Mr. Elegance guy, you can't tell me the following names wouldn't work on your fucking show, or you couldn't make it work unless they don't want to go there. But shout out Matt Cardona for shouting out these names and showing some love on what do you want to talk about?
Talking about the face of the indies, you having stayed a bit longer than I thought. Do you have someone that you're looking at right now? I have one that I just found.
Okay.
And I don't know enough.
All right. Can I say mine?
Yes.
Okay,
go ahead.
So
You're our guest.
I have two.
Yeah.
And I've seen these guys all over the place. And I think effort is very important to me. So I would say Ben Bishop and Richard Holiday are my two guys.
Okay. Richard Holiday.
Who post a lot, who advance their stories, who will do the cell phone promo that nobody wants to do, right? Oh, can you send me this promo? No one wants to do that. But you have to.
So
right?
Both those guys,
yes,
Ben
Bishop
and Richard Holiday
are my two guys. There's many other guys and girls out there.
Yeah,
but they're the two that come to mind.
Hell yeah. I feel that. Bring them in together as a fucking team and have Richard Holiday talk a bunch of shit and have Ben Bishop be his heater. Fucking boom. I booked it for you. It's real simple. Let's get it going here, okay? Shout out Big Trouble Ben Bishop. Sassy Gill with 5 gifted Pro Wrestle Clips memberships. Support. Thank you so much, everyone. Acknowledge me. Hopefully some of those gray names get those. Hopefully some of the people showing love in chat. Thank you so much. Hit subscribe. If you're on X, please hit the retweet. Gift a membership. Become a member. It's only 99 cents. I do Member Monday shows. And yeah, thank you so much, Sassy Go, for that. Jack Cartwheel, is that MLP? Finishing move. Okay, I'm going to good stream. Oh, thank you. I'm flattered. Let's continue. We got a lot of miscellaneous news, hey? So in other kind of crazy, random wrestling news here, I guess, I've talked about this a bunch of times. I think we watched a clip like once, but this is the Mexican street wrestling that I saw in a documentary or something a long time ago. I can't remember what the fuck it was. Someone would know what it is, but maybe it was like the Louis Theroux one, maybe not even that one, but yeah, dude, at red lights, at like traffic stops, these luchas will run out in the streets, work full matches, and like students go and do this, and then you tip them out your car or whatever. And here's a clip of it that's sort of resurfaced. And I don't know what this is called, street wrestling, street lucha. I don't know, but it rules. And these are students. 100%. And look at, like, this guy's laughing. He's having a blast. You might tip them a 5 or a 10, and it just teaches you how to fucking take they're doing Hurricane Ranas on concrete. So it's all about just the motion, the fluidity. Now, I've seen a version of this, though, where it was like a young guy with a veteran. And some of these veterans who, like, never made it and shit, or they're older, they'll just do this to, like, make some extra cash. And they were, like, using chairs and shit. It was crazy. But these are kids, for sure, students. It's the floss. I don't know. It's really cool. And it's awesome to see. And it's just a unique way to learn, for sure. Speaking of unique and craziness, so here's Kanye West's music video. His music video actually just came out for this. So I think he was like live streaming him. Is this the music? Yeah, I don't know. Like, he had footage, like he filmed these guys wrestling for like ever, and the music video's out, and it is like a bunch of these dudes. Speaking of black luchadors, right? It's a bunch of black luchas throwing down, and it kind of rules. Kanye loves pro wrestling. I quote tweeted it. I made the joke. I was like, what did I don't even remember. I was like, I haven't seen this many oiled up dudes wrestling around on hidden camera since Diddy's last party. I'm available for Kill Tony. Right? So yeah, Kanye West. I'm gonna react to this on Patreon. I'm gonna watch the music video and do an EFAP. Kanye.
See this coat, nigga. Bye-bye to my old self. Wake up to the new me. I used to be a world star.
World star. So yeah, Kanye West features live pro wrestling at Bully release party. And I think the music video is just like slowed down and cuts of just one long shot of these guys wrestling around the whole ring and just doing spots and whatnot. Shout out any of the wrestlers, if those even are like professional wrestlers or if those are just people he knows. I don't fucking know, but shout them out if they were in that video. That fucking rules. So moving along here, we have some like MMA / shoot stuff. Okay, so here's Baron Corbin, Bishop Dyer, Tom Pestock, and he's a champion again. 2-time Pants champion, sporting his purple belt.
Yo, we got it done. Back to back, 2-time Pants champion. Boom. Yo, we got it done. Back to back, 2-time Pants.
Didn't he box too? It's so funny when you hear guys like AJ Francis is like, I'd beat the shit out of it. It's like, man, I don't know if Baron Corbin got you down. You think you're going to get, he played in the NFL too, Doug. I'm pretty sure, didn't he? And like, I think he boxed and he's a fucking like legit purple belt. Like, I'm pretty sure he'd fucking take an arm or a leg, dude. Like, you know, I know when you're a big, heavy dude, you can just throw hands at guys. But if we're talking like a fight, now, if we're talking like one of those freak show boxing matches, yeah, you'd probably put hands on him. But it's interesting when Logan Paul says this shit and a lot of people are like, well, athletically, it's like, yeah, but then a fight's a whole different thing, right? Like the best athlete doesn't always win a fucking fight. Anyways. Shout out Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin. Remember when he went to France and they were just like fucking screaming for him? So this Fox News lady, Abby, gets German suplexed by Kennedy Blades, and they're there promoting RAF. RAFPECT. There's a lot of drama surrounding RAF, dude. They do these press conferences. Poulos, the guy fighting Sarukian, was like, took a shot at that girl Nina Drama, and then she went and bitched him up and chapped his ass on her stream. And like, he was all apologetic to her because he's trying to do the Chael Sonnen thing, and everybody's worried they're going to get into another brawl. And then you have fucking Dylan Dennis is wrestling, I think, Colby Covington and shit. Man, RAF's cooking. Eric Bischoff is absolutely frying.
Wrestling's not fake!
Real American freestyle, but yo, Kennedy Blades German suplexes this bitch Benoit style, dude. Like, just all Japan's her ass right here. Boom! And she's dead. 1, 2, 3. Ring the goddamn bell. Holy shit. Oh, you sick fuck. You sick fuck. Oh, shit.
Amazing. I don't think I can be a wrestler. All right. The mic pack did not.
Look at that. Here's the thing, though. And people pointed it out. They were like, okay, the fact that this Kennedy Blades did that at such a high angle with such perfect technique and didn't crush her neck shows you just how strong and good of a wrestler that Kennedy Blades is, that she was in full control. Like, she's giggling about it immediately. She just big sisters this girl here. One more time, like. Yo, that is awesome. And shout out Bischoff. So moving along here, this is the entrance of the year contender, and it's Sting. This happened today. This MMA fighter rappelled from the roof like Sting into his match. This actually kind of rules. There's like nobody there. The seats are just empty, dude. Oh, man. So what is this, like dirty boxing? They have shoes on, but they're in a cage, but they're wearing MMA gloves. So I assume it's like a dirty box fed? That's cool. That's cool. Karate Combat, MVP, Netflix, MMA, all that shit. I'm here for it, Eric. I'm here for it, Eric. Actually, oh, come on now, Eric. That's not fair to not want a healthy mixed martial arts ecosystem. Eric Bischoff has contributed to not only like amateur wrestling or whatever, but just mixed martial arts in general. Like, you're seeing matchups that a lot of people are like, damn, we'd never see that in UFC or on like a freak show card or anything like that, but we get to see them grapple. It's like the next best thing. I don't know. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news as McKinney gets a fucking quick TKO there. Ladies and gentlemen, some bad news for our Canadian friend here,
Ladies
Nelson.
and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Okay, so chat, let's get into some more news. We have some TNA stuff. UFC's been pretty exciting. This has been better than the London card. Yeah, so MLP, they're talking about like Mystico and the Rascals and shit. So just everyone Tone's not using, essentially. Okay, so head kick KO, left high kick KO, and then he wasn't KO'd entirely, and then he just pounded him out. Ref saved him. Fair game. Fair fucking game. I'm just doing something here. I'm just doing something here. Okay. Excellent, guys. So here, let me pull up the other tab. Phil Marks, bookmarks. And he got KO'd like in that other dude's puddle of blood. Not puddle of mud, but puddle of blood. What did Puddle of Mud sing? Are they the ones who sing, yeah, she fucking hates me. La, 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 la. She hates me. Hates me, is that? Yeah, Puddle of Mud with 2 D's, man. Everyone was so edgy back then. Edgy, brah. Yeah, she fucking hates me. La, 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 la. I tried too hard and she tore my feelings like I had none and ripped them away. Okay, guys. TNA news is next. We got to get into Sacrifice. My sacrifice. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Ladies and gentlemen, Banjo's in the chat. I'm cooked tonight. Banjo's in the chat. It is time for TNA. So Impact went down, which was the go-home show to Sacrifice. We're going to talk about Impact and Sacrifice. So Buff Bagwell returned to TNA. What a surprise. And he's going to be having a fucking match, I believe.
Well, what a treat this is here in
Crazy.
Atlanta. Buff Bagwell, who competed in TNA in some of our earliest days.
Or is that wrong? I don't know about TNA and that fucking Gigolo show back in the day. He was in like a real porno show where he was like a gigolo, and then they went and like banged all these cougars and stuff, but like for realsies, like no acting. It was a serious show, like a reality show. So Mara Sade got a note that said to follow the White Rabbit. To be continued. So yeah, TNA, man, cooking it up. Speaking of cooking it up, bang, bang. Souza has officially signed, courtesy of Chris Bay, who dropped the news that Sacrifice, he signed with TNA. Perfect. It's the perfect spot for him to be. He's got so much time. He'll learn how to work good. He'll get those TV reps in. He already knows how to work good, but it's, you know, just the reps in on TV. A part of a growing show. Who knows? He might take it to the next level. NXT could be on the horizon. Who fucking knows? There could be a big bidding war for this guy when all's said and done. That fucking entrance is going to go so hard at some of these events. And, yeah, shout out Souza. What more can I say about him? I've glazed him harder than anyone. So Taryn Terrell has returned to TNA. Say that 5 times fast. Taryn Terrell has returned to TNA. Taryn Terrell has returned to TNA. And so here she is.
Oh my God! We haven't seen Terrell
With the ODB as well, the old dirty bitch.
at TNA in nearly a decade. Another pioneer of the Knockouts division. You're standing at the side of ODB. She's on the wrong side of history tonight, though.
Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yay. Give me the mic so I can take it away.
Welcome to my hometown, bitches. Y'all have been talking a whole lot of trash on the internet, and I have been waiting for this day because I want to come down there, and I'd love to see you say it to my face.
Off on a natural charge, bon voyage. Yeah, in front of home of that Dodger Brooklyn squad. Wu-Tang the bees on the swamp. The one-man gang was in the house as well, dude. Check this out.
Tonight, the legend, the man, the one-man gang, baby, is in the house. An absolute icon of the sport. One of the best big men in the business. We love having you here. He's ready to fight you right now, Tom.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you to the one-man gang for being here tonight in Sacrifice.
Dude, one-man gang rules. Legit, if he was like for real, if I saw that dude in public and he's yelling at me like, come on, I'll break you in half, I'd be like, whoa, shit, stay away from that guy. Fuck. So breaking, the Elegance brand will face the Knockouts Dream Team with Mickie James as well. and Terrell and ODB at Rebellion. TNA Rebellion. One person who made a lot of noise besides Ricky Sosa is also Jada Stone. Do you guys remember that show, Zach Stone? Zach Stone is gonna be famous. Zach Stone is gonna be famous. Zach Stone. I forget the guy's name who plays him. He's that stand-up comedian kid, whatever. It was a good show. I think it got canceled after like one season, maybe two, but either way, Jada Stone fucking rules, and she is Tony Khan's wet dream. Dave's watching this fucking, oh my god, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen, right? Dave's watching this.
Just in, we have
crazy.
Oh my god, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And she hit a bunch of moves. Here's just a 40-second clip.
Stop this from this height. Ali. Whoa! And Stone got the better of Ali. The greatest taken out by Miguel. Twisting moonsault. Isn't enough. Oh, Ali kicked out.
The hits just keep on coming. What is it gonna take here? Orleans.
Yeah, and she did a bunch of wild shit, and people are feeling Jada Stone, so keep an eye on her as well. One thing we got to keep an eye on, or that I guess John Elba kept an eye on, TNA kept an eye on, is Steve Maclin. Okay, he was having a match with Mike Santana, Sweet Louisiana, and he got super kicked, and it was full. He was fucking Goldberg maxing here. Okay, this kick was fucking Bill Goldberg coded, and he went all fucking Bret Hart on his ass with this shuffle sidekick, right? This fucking savant, right? Just sidekick Maclin in the chin, KO'd him. And this referee is a phenomenal referee and did the absolute right thing. Wasn't afraid to interject herself in the heat of the moment, like didn't fucking back down and worry about like, oh, like Santana might be mad at me after this or some shit. Some people are giving Santana heat for this as well, like trying to call him dangerous and shit, or be like, look how dangerous. I mean, yeah, super kicks going wrong, scoop slams going wrong. That's what you hope to avoid, is like the simple routine shit you do all the time. You want to avoid that from going wrong. And typically that's the shit that does go wrong. The wrongest. Some would say the wrongest. The wrongerest. Because you do it so many times, right? It's like you drive a car every day of your life, you're bound to fucking see an accident or be involved in one type thing, you know? So it's the same thing with wrestling. You do it all day, every day. Like, yes, practice makes perfect, but it's like you're bound. Everybody, Kobe had an off night, you know? Everybody has a fucking off night and something, or just where some minor thing goes awry. And so JJ Alexander joining me on the show, hopefully not entirely glitched out. But I will continue to rant and rave because you seem kind of glitched out. But, you know, these things go wrong. They go awry sometimes. And so to shit on anybody in particular, I mean, that's not what should be happening here. What should be, because accidents happen in the ring. It's like you're playing hockey and you expect not to tweak an ankle or get hit, or, you know, accidents do happen in every sport, in every physical endeavor. And so when it comes down to this, we should be praising the referee, is all it should be. So let's take a look at this. And, you know, Maclin really eats this kick, and you can tell he was rocked as fuck because he tried to pop up, but the ref is asking him, like, who knows? Did she ask him, like, where are you? And he didn't answer correctly, because that can happen too. And that means you're knocked the fuck out. Again, in MMA, people think it's brutal, but there's a reason why when you get cracked and dropped and then they pounce on you and just pound you out quick, pause, that is safer than like boxing, getting up and getting dropped and getting up and getting dropped. It's safer than that because there's more deaths in boxing than MMA, for instance. And the reason why is that, like, even if you get dropped and then pop right back up, your brain's rattling around in your fucking head, you know? So who knows how she conducted herself, but just brilliant referee work in contrast to what we saw in the OVW situation recently. I guess that was the ref getting knocked out and seizured. So it was much scarier, but she did the right call here, and people should be praising her. TNA gave her their All-Star award, and them because Eddie Edwards does a run out and he got a fucking All-Star award as well for being such a good guy and sort of saving this segment. And I hope Maclin's okay. We'll get into the aftermath after. I'm going to play this clip. And
sometimes you step out and you be selfish. The most selfish thing.
And you hear him yell super. So it's actually Maclin calls the super kick, but he just gave his chin a little too much. He just gave his chin out a little too much.
Sometimes you step out and you be selfish. The most selfish thing you could possibly do. I know. My own personal feelings.
Starch. Do you see the people like it's a work? No. That is starch fingers. So that is like a type of seizure or whatever.
Right? You could possibly do. I know. Like my own personal feelings.
You see how the fingers just boom like he's being tased? Might be hard to see, but here, I can remove this shit as well. Let me remove the overlay here so you guys can see that one more time. Look how his hand goes from normal to like boom, it's seizure.
The most selfish thing you could possibly do. I know. Like my own personal feelings aside, this is not about me. How many times has Mike Santana tried to help Steve Maclin when Steve Maclin's worst enemy?
He said no to whatever she said.
In this company has been Steve Maclin. The man in the mirror has killed Steve Maclin time and time again.
And the crowd's chanting, fuck him up. Now, if I'm Santana, what I'm doing is I'm throwing my hands.
And we've all tried to protect this man for the longest time.
I'm throwing my hands in the air and being like, I fucking won. I did it. I won. Fuck yeah. Victory. You know, I'm the best. He can't continue. Ba. So
Mike Santana's going to put him in his damn place right now, and he just rocked his jaw. No denying all of that. And perhaps this is it.
And she did the absolute right thing. Like, she didn't want to. Like, once he got up, Santana's like, he's got to be good, but he's also listening to what she's saying. And then you can tell she's like,
place right now, and he just rocked his jaw. No denying all of that. And perhaps this is it. A referee, Alice Lane, is calling for the TNA medical staff to come check on Maclin. Maclin is...
And if I'm Santana, I'm like, yes, I won. Let's fucking go. Ring the bell. I won. You know, you just got to sell it like that. But you can tell he's pissed because it ruined his fucking moment at this pay-per-view. And there's a lot riding on this, obviously. And she made the absolute ref made the absolute right call.
It's not okay. Matchup of this entire situation.
Like, if this is a work, they're not doing all of this. If it was a work, they're not doing all of this, you know? They're like deliberating, does he continue? And he's probably like, I feel good to go. Let's finish the main event. And then they're probably like, no, you have a concussion.
You know? Sure as hell is not ballet. This is a rough, arduous business.
And if it is a work, then Maclin deserves an Academy Award for starching like that. Like that, you can't really fake that. You can tell when people are fake doing it, you know? And they say don't fake do it in pro wrestling. I think TNA, oh yeah, that's the other thing. So TNA had like a written out rule change essentially where they did say, and we covered this on the show like a long time ago, where it was like no blood. Like if you're going to blade, you have to clear it. So before in TNA, I don't know if you could just blade yourself up, but basically like people could bleed and shit if they wanted to. They could use chairs and shit more frivolously if they wanted to. But TNA knew going into this TV deal, they weren't going to do that anymore. And one of the things they said was no fake getting concussed or whatever. No faking KOs or that was right when they partnered with WWE, I think, as well. So a lot of people were like blaming that on. You guys remember that where they sent out the memo and they're like, oh, Tessa Blanchard got blamed for a match that had blood in it or some shit. Either way, I digress. So here is moving along here. Here's an update. I hope Maclin's okay. According to John Alba and SI Wrestling, TNA President Carlos Silva confirmed that Steve Maclin was not ultimately diagnosed with a concussion after TNA Sacrifice. Maclin had been evaluated for one and was sent to the hospital for further tests. He cleared all of his tests and was released to go back to his hotel for the night. So good for him. I hope he's all good. And that's pretty crazy. And it's a scary thing, but the ref did the right thing. Like I respect that more than forcing him to go out there, even though back in the day, like the tales of old, yeah, that would rule. That's how everybody got down, but it's not how you get down anymore. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA News. Okay, guys, let's get into, we have more news to get into. JJ's having some connection issues or something. He will pop on in a bit here. I believe if he's trying to get in right now, I'll check him out. Guys, hit like, hit subscribe, hit retweet if you're on X, because you have to manually post it with StreamYard for some fucking reason, man. Their X shit is not, it's been a little fried lately, but yeah, hit repost and all of that. Become a member or check out patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. Let's get into, we got Fed news, we got AEW news. What do you guys want next? Maybe Fed, because we got to talk about SmackDown and whatnot, and it sort of connects. Let me ask you, it connects to TNA a little bit more. JJ, are you existing? What's up with your connection? I can hear him like typing and clicking. You guys can hear that, I'm sure, too. He's saying I sound choppy on his end, and he's all choppy to me on his end. So I think it's just,
I haven't even said anything yet. Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you now. Is there a delay? Let's time the delay. I don't know if you're there, dude. Just start talking when you're there again, I guess. I don't know. George Capture's been a member for 23 months, almost a year. For what? Awesome, dude. 24 months. That's 2 goddamn years of membership. Thank you so much. We acknowledge me. Yeah, JJ's like, I think I might need to take a mulligan. Yeah, I don't know. Your connection's not doing so well. Hit me up. Just pop back in. You have the link. If you figure it out or something like that, go move the antennas around, the tinfoil antennas on the TV screen, and see if you can get back in here, bud. Chris Walski's been a member for 5 months.
Acknowledge me.
That fucking rules. That's a long time too, man. That is a long time too. JJ, you good, buddy? You here? Keeps freezing and shit. Okay. All right, buddy. We'll catch up with you later, man. You take it easy. Get some rest. I shouted you out earlier in the show too. Just come say what's up in chat. Just come talk shit in chat, and we'll okay. So let's dive back into Phil Marks book, and let's get into, we have Fed news. Everyone hydrate. I'm actually going to drink some Diet Coke, and hopefully cocaine doesn't 619 me. like the ring rat. Ugh. I have a Diet Coke, an iced coffee, and ice water all lined up. So many drinks. JJ got stuck with Jesse down in the Baja. Yeah, dude. It's just his internet's glitching out, so that's what he was saying in the private chat here, and obviously that's the case. So I could hear him like clicking and typing, but then when he went to speak, it just wasn't working. So it's all good. I'll get him back on soon. I'm glad he's doing good. And yeah. New MLP tag champs, Sheldon Jean and Brent Banks. They beat the Good Brothers. Well, goddamn. Dave Meltzer says, Chris Walski, that is AI. I was wide awake during Dynamite. It was the best time I ever had. Dude, we have a Tony Khan. We have a Tone McCon live as well. He went live like 45 minutes ago, I want to say at this point. So we're going to get into that. Okay. Let's get into some shit here. Here, let me scroll down. Obafemi's number one fan, JJ. Great night, great show. Oba and Braun. Well, even though this is a Fed-sponsored show, I give it 4 3/4 stars. If you bring in any of the Tokyo Dome guys, I will raise the rating. Well, that's in January, Dave. I typically talk about Wrestle Kingdom and Nuge more in January. Then it kind of fizzles out unless something big and exciting happens. But thank you for the rating. And yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your membership, Dave. Okay, let's get into this shit over here. This shit right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WWW Federation News. So, Kill Tony. We don't fuck with Rogan. We don't fuck with Tony. We don't fuck with Nani. Y'all all a bunch of phony. Shut up, Crackamico. WWE and comedian Tony Hinchcliffe will further each of their partnerships. So I said this before. I was like, God damn it, you filmed the roast for WrestleMania. They didn't air it on Netflix. They pussed out. Kill Tony's a better format to have like wrestlers come up, and instead of them saying shit that all these fucking wrestling fans are going to get mad. Like if they went out of their way and listened to the roast, they'd be like trying to cancel Nia Jax right now. And fucking, it's just some of the jokes that were made. Right. So, either fucking way. When it's like, okay, they're just kidding. It's a roast setting. Maybe not. Like the whole cancel thing, I get it. It's fucking cringe. It's like, oh, I'm canceled. And then you get a Netflix comedy special. I roast that shit all the time, personally. But Kill Tony's a better format. Like Sami Zayn can just go up and do a minute. And then if he crushes it, then they do an interview part and they can cut a promo or whatever. I don't know what the panel's going to be. Hopefully Adam Ray's on that shit because he's funny as fuck. But yeah, they're going to do Kill Tony WrestleMania Vegas. It's after night one. So I'm going to get drunk as fuck and watch it. And it's going to be on Netflix. And I said, I think on the last show that they might as well, like they do the roasts on Netflix. They do, and they're roasting Kevin Hart next month. And then they do the WrestleMania, or they have WWE on Netflix and WrestleMania's on Netflix internationally, and Kill Tony every like few months has a Netflix show, like episode where, I don't know, I think it's like once every 3 months or something. He drops a Kill Tony exclusively to Netflix. And so it's like, you might as well just do it on Netflix. Like, don't puss out. There's no reason you don't. If you're going to have all these people in a fucking room, it's like the Jelly Roll roast. Like apparently he got roasted at a comedy club and they filmed it all, but they just never released it. And it's like, why? If you're going to get all these famous people and comedians in a room, fucking film it and put it out there, you know? Like, it's content, man. Like, what are you worried about? Hurting people's feelings and shit? Shut the fuck up. So, especially at a goddamn cut, whether you like this or not. Now, if it's not your cup of tea, that's totally fine. You know? But I think this will be funny, and this is like a... Let's face it, if wrestlers go and do hot ones, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to watch that. So it's just like wrestler Kill Tony? That fucking rules. Let me check that out, right? So It'd be like if they did fucking wrestler rap battles or wrestler fucking wrestler Fear Factor. You guys remember when wrestlers would go on like Weakest Link or Family Feud? I'll watch all that shit, you know? So I'm down with it. And yeah, they are going to put that on Netflix. Shout it out. Moving along here, speaking of Netflix is once again raising subscription prices in the United States of A. Now, I don't know what the fuck is up with this, but Netflix is just milking everybody. So Netflix is once again raising subscription prices in the US. And yeah, I don't know if Kill Tony's going to air live. I doubt it. They'll probably film it, then release it some months later. Or I think his last special, Kill Tony special on Netflix, was like 2 months ago or a month ago. So I think January. So yeah, he's probably due for one every 3 months or 4 months. I think he puts one out. So makes sense. Anyways, ad supported tier will now cost $8.99 per month. And it's up from $7.99 per month. Standard tier will now cost $19.99 per month, up from $17.99. And premium tier will now cost $26.99, up for $25. You might as well just get cable. What the fuck are we doing? You know, is Netflix even worth that much? If you watch wrestling, I guess, like I watch lots of shit on Netflix. I enjoy having it. I've cut out some shit. I have Crave. I think I have Prime as well. But there were some of these things I cut out, but I also like the free ones, right? I put over Plex a lot. Tubi's got some shit. I have it. I had to download it. I don't really use it a bunch, but Plex is really good. But yeah, if you're a wrestling fan internationally, they haven't raised the prices here. I think they did like a little bit ago, but usually when they do it in the US, then eventually it goes everywhere else, the price hike, because then they can kind of gauge like how much it hurts them or whatever. But either way, yeah, if you want to watch Raw, you need Netflix. So speaking of television and Netflix and ESPN and all of this shit, ESPN files a motion to intervene in WWE PLE class action lawsuit. So now ESPN's getting in on the lawsuit. And it would have been funny if Tone McCann had have bought WWE, then he'd be the one getting sued and accused of all this shit and tied to Vince McMahon and all this shit. So funny. So in other news, NXT sort of got shitted on this week, and so did this SmackDown. We're going to talk about SmackDown in a minute. Here's Dave Meltzer, this stupid idiot talking about NXT, and who knows if what he's saying is even accurate.
Baby, learn Meltzer Inferno.
Or this could be Brian. I don't fucking know, but it's you realize that like this NXT, this has got to be Dave. You realize that like this NXT show on Tuesday was so ungodly terrible. No, this is Bri. You realize that like this NXT show on Tuesday was so ungodly terrible. It was just a horrifically booked show. You had all these fans. It's better than Collision will ever be. It's actually a great show. Meanwhile, you actually hear from people at NXT that are like, yeah, that show's just terrible. It was just terrible. So now you have fucking Tryon Bryan jumping on this fucking bandwagon. So these self-made goofs are sitting there talking like everyone on WWE thinks AEW's better. There's people there who think AEW's a superior product, bro. Superior product. And then now Brian Alvarez is like, yeah, people in NXT think this fucking show sucks. And
are you sure about that?
I'm not saying there's not ebbs and flows. I'm not saying that this has been the best build to WrestleMania or all this shit, right? And the best build to Stand and Deliver, and NXT's cooking like it was before. But at the same time, like, I don't believe none of you goofs are getting told real shit, you know? So, people within NXT reportedly feel like this past week's show was terrible. I mean, that might be true. NXT's not doing, it hasn't been as good recently either, which we've talked about on this show. And that's because Trick, Oba, and Javon all came up, and they were like a huge reason why people were watching that shit. and Ethan Page is likely going to get phased out. He's got to be a big reason why as well. Also, the Zarya Sol Ruka stuff is, I mean, it's not terrible. It's just standard like NXT shit, but it's also like they aren't. I think they're a little confused in the direction they're going. And I think some of these girls in NXT, some of these ladies, rather, women, I think they are like, fuck, man, I want to go up to the main roster. I don't want to be down here for so goddamn long. Like, they're killing it. And yeah, maybe it's time to call them up. But definitely NXT is in a clear and obvious, like, okay, we're starting to get other people over. We're kind of like slowly transitioning a little bit right now after we called some key guys up. You can only really do it by the small handful of guys, a few guys at a time, or else you tank this fucking CW TV deal. You don't want to tank your ratings. And look, like AEW's been doing better than NXT in the ratings, allegedly. Let's talk about it. As One Trick Willie would say, let's fucking talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So Alfred Kunawa posted this: NXT couldn't beat AEW with established stars like Finn, Adam Cole, Gargano, and even future stars like Braun Breaker, Gunther, etc. Now, is Gargano an established star, dude? Even Adam Cole, was he established beyond NXT? I don't really know about that, Alfred, friend of the show, at This Is Nasty and Pro Wrestling Bits. Even future stars like Breaker, Gunther, etc. Then NXT booked black talent from scratch, like it was NXT on UPN, and dominated Dynamite, going 61-6 during the African NXT era. Now, right, but they still booked black talent, so I don't really know what that means. But yes, they did call up Trick and Oba and Javon, who all happen to be black gentlemen, and say what you will, but I mean, Alfred's not entirely off here. It's not like that's a coincidence, but they all deserve to be on the main roster right now. I think some other guys too, though. Ethan Page. I think some of these other fellows are moving. I think Joe Hendry isn't going to be long in NXT either. But either way, but this guy pointed this out, and this is really good because people try and explain this all the time, and they go, "Well, Phil, the numbers are inflated." I know they are. They have to be. And I'm just like, I just look at the number, guys. I don't fucking know. I don't care. Okay. Look at the live attendance for Dynamite. Okay. That's a huge indicator. Okay. They popped a good rating on TV. The max numbers are still fake, right? So it's not like I'm butthurt if AEW does better on TV in the TV ratings. Like, good. I want them fucking to. I'm on record saying that an innumerable amount of times, myriad times, right? But Ryder Watkins here says, you do realize Nielsen didn't give NXT the ratings boost because it's not cable, right? NXT is still using the old system where Dynamite was getting 470 to 520. Now, is this true? Is this how it actually works? Doesn't Raj Giri just say everything is like panel plus only? And all this shit, or big data panel plus not including the fucking HBO Max. He's always saying shit like that. So does that not apply to fucking NXT? I'm too dumb for this shit, but if this guy Ryder's cooking here, I like to retweet this because numerous people have been like, Phil, it's not real. It's inflated. The fucking Dynamite. And I know, like, obviously when they have a lead in on Collision and they do 600,000, like that's inflated, obviously. But if this is true, then goddamn, like I didn't even realize that this whole time. And I'm not going to sit here and every time I read the Dynamite ratings cope and be like, because here's the problem, right? At first, it's like we're putting the Nielsen ratings over. Now we're trying to debunk Nielsen after Dave was trying to debunk Nielsen and we fucking clowned him for it. And so, you know, Nielsen is bullshit, just like the billboards are bullshit. Like everybody knows this. But if Netflix is going to release their fucking numbers, I'm going to go, that's what the numbers are. Like, I know it's surface level shit, but unless you want to be an investigative journalist and can come with hard evidence and blow the shit wide open that Netflix lies about the numbers, then shut the fuck up. You know, otherwise I don't know what to tell you. Like if Triple H came out and was like, dude, no, the numbers we're seeing are way different than what Netflix says. Okay, then the conversation for me is going to be like, well, who's telling the truth? Are these inflated? But that I don't give a fuck beyond. So when I read the numbers, I'm not going to cope every week and go, Dynamite really didn't do this much because actually the inflated number of the Nielsen blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. We're going to look at attendance. We're going to look at how the Thurston's going to sue people and do all that type of snooping for us. Okay. He's going to sue people and find out what the papered houses are and shit. That's way more intriguing. I've told you guys this, the key demo doesn't matter. Fucking regular television's dead. So now everyone's running around like the Bucks in an empty ring. Yeah, we did 700,000. Okay. So ratings matter again. The fuck you guys talking about? So to me, I've always kept the same energy with all this shit. I'm not going to cope over AEW doing well. But if this is true, then that's crazy, and it should be known. It should be noted, hey, could be inflated 200K every fucking time. And, yeah, so we move along here, and we're talking about people sort of getting things wrong and whatnot, which we have more to get into in that regard as I bibble and babble and listen to this UFC promo. And yeah, man, this card's been really good. This UFC card's been really fucking good. Let's look at what else we got going on here. So we got a lot of SmackDown stuff. Sorry for the doom scrolling here. What do we do? In other television news, okay, and television superstar news, bud. Roman Reigns had a message for CM Punk on Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show. And he calls out Phil, not Phil S. Marks, but Phil S. Brooks. And let's take a look. Big chief here, big tribal chief Roman Reigns. One's up in the chat. He sends a message to Punk. And let's shout out Jimmy Fallon.
Phil, most likely you're asleep right now. So, and as you should be resting up because you need it. And you're probably a little confused at your old age. You're probably wondering like, why is Roman there?
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's what he's hitting him with. Why is Roman there? I can't think of a thing to say.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Here at home. That's because I'm a way bigger star than you.
Oh shit.
Roman Reigns, everybody!
There you go. Crushed him. Cooked him. And so, speaking of getting cooked and called out here, Cody Rhodes calls out talent backstage and says, you guys are leaving the shows early.
Not going to leave it to be.
And shout out Fanatics and what do you want to talk about? And don't snipe this, Fanatics.
I'm not going to leave it to begin.
I'm a WWE shop affiliate, okay? Link in the fucking description next time you buy some merch.
Beginning of the show. I watched the other day. I watched the walk right by me. Where are you going? What if someone gets hurt?
At least sneak out.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm almost not mad at you leaving early. Yeah. You're blatantly doing it. Bags by Gorilla.
Yeah.
While the last two matches go in, that's a classic.
Yeah.
That I get that.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Yeah.
But I won't be, right?
Yeah.
You know, but
just making room in the locker
just
room.
right in front of me. And then you ask, like, well, are the same guys on WrestleMania? I'll tell you what. That's part of it. Anyways, where were we on? I said no, but all these things when I brought them up to you, you're like, that's
okay. But Rhodes, I hope you're not just saying this shit on your fucking pod, and I hope you're just saying that. Be a locker room leader and tell the guys who are doing that they're doing that. Check it in the locker room as it's happening, so we don't start doing this petty. We're gonna talk shit on podcasts like Moxley shit. You know what I'm saying? So WWE has filed to trademark Club WWE, a membership club services, blah, blah, blah. It's like a Club Random, Bill Maher's Club Random, where he creeps everyone the fuck out. No, Club WWE, I don't know what this is, but I'm assuming just like people sign up and then you get updates and this and that, you know? Heels, like remember AEW Heels? So in other WWE news, and we have a couple of funny videos and then an interesting stat to read off here, as well as a Hall of Fame induction. So kicking things off, literally, Chelsea Green makes a field goal here. And I mean, I know a lot of guys who couldn't even do this.
Here it is.
Thank you. Thank you with a broken ankle. I want to raise, okay? I want to raise.
With a broken ankle, crushed it. See that boot one more time.
Here it is.
Thank you.
Sign her. Sign her up. Put her on the team. So in other funny news here, I guess, or updates, Danhausen is on the hunt to find his face on the trucks, because that was part of his Demandhausens. Let's take a look here.
Yes, so, as we all know, Danhausen has his list of Demandhausens, and only one has been fulfilled so far, the famous Triple H point. It's time to play the game, that one. So, Danhausen demands to be on the trucks, his face plastered across it as they drive down the highway, so they can see it. And what do we got? Got Jacob Fatu. I'm certainly not going to say anything bad about him. Nice guy, great werewolf. He's a werewolf, actually. That's good. I like that. Team Danhausen up with a werewolf. And who else we got? Let's see. Finally, we have the end of this truck. Tiffany Stratton. That's nice. All right.
So, like, here's the thing. Does WWE just give him a camera guy and they just go follow him around all day? Yeah, Danhausen, come to TV, just fuck with wrestlers and do stuff backstage. And then you just, siphon out whatever the fucking gems are, the little clips are.
Pretty good. It's a musical note, it looks like. Ooh. All right, let's go to another truck. Oh, and then we have Drew McIntyre. Look at him. We're all smushed, though, so I don't count this one because I don't want to be smushed on the truck. All right, let's see who's on this one. It is Tama Tonja. He goes, la 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 la.
La, 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 la. Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. Tanja Lawa. I don't think he does that as well. And then over there, we got Psychoa. Looks pretty crazy. Good. All right. Well, let's keep checking the trucks for Danhausen. All right.
The line I know he didn't think of it in the moment, but there's a line in there of like, oh, these guys paint their faces. They're weird, They creep me out with their face paint and whatever.
Ooh. Suppose too evil.
Too evil. Oh shit.
All right. Well, we've got a fellow WWE legend up on the truck behind Danhausen. Rock the Dwayne Johnson. You smell what the Danhausen is cursing. I think that's what he says, or he should say, and then he should give me some money. Prep the PT Cruisers. Danhausen's coming to your gym. All right, this one's pretty good. We got the Queenhausen behind us. Charlotte Flair.
The Queenhausen.
Ooh.
Rude. Oh fuck.
All right, and we're at the final truck.
I could just watch him do shit. It's like Timeless Tony Storm. Like the original incarnation of Timeless Tony Storm, you could just like watch her do shit in black and white with no fucking speech. She could just do things, and it's funny. Danhausen, he can just walk around and talk about stuff, and it's hilarious.
Because every other truck had everyone else on it, so let's see. Oh, the anticipation is killing me. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Does he curse her? Because here's the thing.
She's on there twice.
She's on there twice.
This one was supposed to be Danhausen. She had one down there.
Oh, I thought it was the same picture of her, and that's why he was going to curse her. Because, like, whoever he's cursing is losing and shit. So even in these little social media posts, if you notice he curses someone, just pay attention to that. It's like deep cut, sicko type shit.
She got 2. This is bogus.
or like uber wacko type shit. You know what I mean?
I'm going to go to the office, and I'm going to curse whoever's in charge. Might be Triple H, I don't know.
Oh, that is hilarious. Before we get into these Hall of Fame honors, I would just like to shout out Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who was just inducted into the modern wing of the UFC Hall of Fame. He deserves that. One of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, truly one of the best to ever fucking do it. And speaking of one of the best to do it, who was a shooter himself, and maybe he wasn't, he was maybe one of the best judokas in his day, maybe not, but he was also, you know, a legendary pro wrestler, and going into the legacy wing, not the modern wing of the UFC, but onto the legacy wing of the Hall of Fame. And it seems as though the WWE Hall of Fame, what they're doing now is for people who are no longer with us, they get put in the legacy wing, which is kind of awesome. And then if you're there to accept the award, you just get put into standard Hall of Fame. I think that's the correct way to approach it. And then that way we can get China in there solo, but they don't have to. Because I get it, man. It's like, you know, some of the stuff is dark and you don't want to, you know, reopen old wounds and stuff like that. And maybe they could get an Owen Hart in there. I mean, Owen Hart should be celebrated with Bret Hart inducting him and stuff like that. And it doesn't mean people who passed away can't get the traditional induction, but it just seems like Bad News Brown's no longer with us. Sid's no longer with us. So they're going into the legacy wing. You can attribute that to what you want, but everybody else is with us to accept the honors. And I think this would just be a good, straightforward way to approach it moving forward every year, because there's really no rhyme or reason. But moving forward, if it's like, okay, we can celebrate and run a package and invite Sid's family, but we don't need to also put ourselves in a situation where there's like TV restraints and we're like rushing people out there. Like we can just format it into the show better. And I'm not saying rush everyone along like they did to Molly Holly and the Bellas and shit. They should almost redo the COVID era inductions just as like an honorary fucking, just redo it in Saudi as like a bonus show on top of stuff and let them actually give their speeches and shit. Because that was cooked, and then just sew it into old footage. Just rewrite history, dude. But yeah, Bad News Brown. Let's take a look, and here we'll leave it small, and I'll kind of scroll.
That scowl, that glare.
Because otherwise, I'm gonna get pwned by
Brown.
Not Anthem, but what is it? TKO. Pardon me.
Had a presence.
Looks like a mean, angry man.
Forget about the old saying, there's good news and there's bad news, because now there's only bad news.
He didn't need friends, not when he was armed with a fierce finisher.
One of the most devastating I think I've ever
That Enziguri, dude, the kick to the back / side of the head.
seen.
Don't give no mercy, take no prisoners.
He hailed from Harlem and achieved Olympic glory, a bronze medal in judo
That
at
was him with Judo Gene LaBelle.
the '76 Summer Games. Then Bad News traveled fast, arriving in WWE, tearing through opponents, making enemies out of everyone, including legends Hulk Hogan and Randy.
Drop the leg on Hogan. The disrespect.
Macho Man Savage.
He don't want no friends. He don't need no friends. He doesn't have any friends.
His WrestleMania moment? Winning a massive battle royal against the biggest names in the biz.
Oh, yeah.
I never, ever leave an enemy behind.
No alliances, no apologies, no smiles. But no doubt he'd be beaming about his election into the 2026 legacy class of the
Dude, Tessitore rules for stuff like this, too.
WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so Bad News Brown will be in there. I thought they were done announcing people. They keep adding people. We even discussed this again like a week ago. I was like, well, what's going to happen with the legacy wing? Are they still going to even do that? Are they going to just induct 10 people? Like I even said, I think there's going to be less people moving forward because it doesn't seem like there's any legacy wing approach. And last year they inducted a match. They haven't inducted a match this year. So do they continue doing that, or do they not like how it played out with Bret Hart and Stone Cold and whatnot? Who knows? But awesome. Shout out Bad News Brown. So there is currently no male champion on the WWE roster, on the main roster, that is under 40. And CM Punk is 47, which you often forget. Like, dude's almost goddamn 50. I think he goes till he's 50, and then he'll call it. Rhodes is 40. Sami Zayn's 41. We're about to get into that in a minute. Penta's 41. Okay. So Truth and Priest are 54 and 43, dude. That's the thing. I didn't realize Priest was 43. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the guy here, but here, just give me a second, guys. I'm fumbling with something. Doing a run-in. Speaking of legends and old guys who are world champions, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild! Yay!
Sorry. Did you guys enjoy that? Hit the like button, or take your like back if you must, if you will. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, back on track here. We're talking about champions. We have Larry Ann Douglas fighting Julian Erosa, and headquarters called there. So I needed a moment. Sorry, guys. So where the fuck were we? Think, Phil, think. And then the Usos are both 40. So Priest is 43. That's why he's taking it easy and getting thrown out by Royce Keys and shit. It's because, he's probably getting ready to wrap it up and pack it in eventually. The Usos are going to be done sooner than later. Not all these guys are washed, though. Like, a bunch of them will go till they're 45 and shit. I fully expect Rhodes to. And it just shows you that in every sport, they say like hockey's a young man's game, but then you get those veterans with longevity who are just putting up consistent points, or you get some of these veterans, they say you peak in MMA between the ages of like 32 to 37 is like the peak. So if you think about that, that's kind of considered quote unquote older for sports, but it's human evolution, whatever you want to call it. Evolution is a mystery. And I'm not saying all these guys are fucking world beaters. I'm not saying Punk looks like he does in his prime. I'm not saying fucking Priest, he kind of, you can tell he's got like the big guy legs and hips going on a little bit. Truth is still doing the damn thing. And this is why when you have people like Alvarez crying about like, call Javon up and all this shit, I get pissed at that, because it's like, dude, the idea, Brian, is that there's going to be longevity. That's the new meta. That's the evolution. That's the future, right? So you want Javon to still be able to draw. And not only that, you want him to be able to do what he can do now without having crazy fucking serious injuries that he deals with early on. And you want him to do that shit. And you want to make sure he can draw and knows how to be on television until he's 45, right? Let's say he's a long-term all-timer in WWE and stays there his whole career, which I think Javon will. You take a guy like John Cena, he's there like 25 years or whatever. You got to take care of your body. You have to milk shit, unfortunately, if you're on a weekly television program and you're trying to do PLEs every single month for infinity and you want to have a career that spans 25 fucking years. And maybe you don't want that, but it's the same thing with any sport. Like if you could take the older veteran's mind and put it in the younger, faster, his 21-year-old body, 21, they would be like the greatest player of all time, right? Imagine like Gretzky's mind for the game now in the body of back then, but also there's something like maybe he wouldn't take as many risks though, and it might hold him back a little bit. Who fucking knows? But in pro wrestling, that's where the entertainment aspect comes in. The reps you get in. When he's 45, dude, his mind will be supreme, and people are able to go till they're 50 and shit. They don't look like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man did when they're 43 and stuff like that. So the world's changed. Medical science has changed. People's diets, the way they figured out how to look muscular. Also, people not having to roid themselves up and fight 7-foot fucking monsters and shit. You know, if you're a 7-foot monster, they put you in the free agent section in WWE, and they don't. No, there's some big dudes. I like that the heavyweight division and the women's heavyweight division, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's just one division, but like, God damn it, that world title, they got some big ladies, man, who can throw down. And that tag title too, the Irresistible Forces. You know, I like Rhea. Even Rhea slimmed down as like a tall fucking chick. Who's a tall, muscular chick. I don't know why people are tripping out. Oh, she lost some muscle or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Did she, or is she just not bulking up, like just bulking to the max, Super Saiyan fucking, you know? You don't need to do that all the time. And maybe she just took a break for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's dealing with an injury too. Like, chill the fuck out. She's still tall and like, looks like she could beat most male wrestling fans' asses for real. But either way, the older champions, I'm not tripping about it. I mean, there does come a time where you want to have titles on younger guys. And I think that in the tag division, they're kind of missing the opportunity to do that. I'm okay with the Usos having the titles again, but do we really need to go to like Truth and Priest? I mean, if you want to say, well, they were in Judgment Day together, I mean, I guess, but we're really just going to this to give them spots on WrestleMania, and that's fine. Like, where else are you going to put Truth and Priest? My whole thing is like, we need to unify titles, and we need to just have champions go on Raw and SmackDown, and then all the other rosters then the rosters are hard split. Okay. Titles are unified. One champ goes to both shows. And if you want to have a WWE and heavyweight title, that's fine. But the champs go to both shows. Like, you can keep those titles separate. Okay. I'll fucks with it, you know? But we need like one US title, and then the US titles stay brand exclusive. The ICs stay brand exclusive. Tag titles, unifying them. World titles, unify them. Maybe that's still too many titles. It just feels like there's too many fucking titles. Too many fucking titles, okay? And they are trying to keep brand split, but as we saw on this last SmackDown, like, which we're about to talk about, some of the ladies in the tag division, they just show up wherever the fuck. And I mean, we're trying to get Truth and Priest on this show. That's totally cool and fine, but like, who challenges them? They're just kind of hot potatoing belts around right now. And the Usos are doing their thing. I don't see them being around too terribly much longer either. But yeah, I mean, get ready for some of these guys. Like, how much longer does Sammy do this? He's made good money. Another 4 years. Is there a cutoff date? Nobody's really given one. That's why I respect guys like AJ and shit. And everybody's crying about AJ. And it's like, well, you also want to cry about the older roster. So get used to it. People will be wrestling until they're 50 and shit. They know how to take care of their bodies. And the people like Ospreay who don't, I mean, I hope he, and I'm not trying to be shitty, but like, you come back and do a Phoenix splat or a 630 corkscrew, a 540 corkscrew to the outside on a bunch of guys. Like, buddy, you just rushed your neck surgery or whatever the fuck. Like, you don't need to do that. So yeah, get used to seeing older guys again. But that's always also, oh yeah, this is what I want to say. That's also just how wrestling has fucking been forever. The old guys are on fucking top. Then you get some young guys creep in. Carmelo Hayes just had a title. I don't like the hot potatoing of the belt, especially just to get to the singles match. This could have just been a fucking match. And then fucking Hayes could have had a 5-guy ladder, a 6-guy ladder match or whatever for the US. And you could have just had Zayn and Williams because they've been talking shit and they're both cutting promos and whatnot. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
613-805 for 2 says crazy AEW didn't trademark the look WWE. Oh, didn't trademark the look WWE New Money. You meant to say like trademark, right? Not trademark like Mark Briscoe. Thank you for the $2. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Guys, hit like, hit subscribe, hit retweet if you're on X. That's important because yeah, whatever. I had to manually post it. StreamYard's always fucking around. But these updates are nice. They're nice and clean. Yeah, I'm watching UFC. It's been just a tremendous card. And yes, they're breaking up the Babes of Wrath. Are they breaking them up? Good. Yeah, Cameron with the inspiration. I'm down with that. My bad, soda water. No, it's not your bad, dude. I'm also redacted heavily. So if we fucking Moose is signed to TNA, unify the tag titles, make them the WWE Undisputed Tag titles, make new belts. Yeah, like, how about we just have one world champion, one fucking set of tag champs, one women's tag champs, one women's champion. They go on whatever show, and then hard brand splits, and then fucking the IC and US belts. And they should just get rid of the women's ones for real. They should just unify them with the fucking world titles or whatever the fuck. But the IC and US belts are brand exclusive. So the US stays on USA Channel, the IC stays on Netflix, and then those are brand exclusive. So every fucking show's roster's brand exclusive unless you win the world title, then you're like Undertaker. Right? In the Undisputed Championship days, you got to go to Raw and SmackDown. You're on both shows, right? And then that way you can get to these matches where, let's say, Sami Zayn and Trick are feuding and they're like next in line for the world, but the world champ is tied up over on Raw for a bit. Then that's just like a big SmackDown match. I'm telling you, man. But the belts like symbolize shit, man. And they can sell toys and shit. And it's not just them. The UFC does that. Tone's guilty of this. In WWE, it's way less egregious because it's not just like all these titles from other shit. And at least AAA, it's like, well, we own that. And then TNA, yes, they're partnered with. You see TNA guys showing up with belts. It's like, okay, they're overt with their fucking partnership. It can be a little much. Everyone's got fucking belts, but at least we know like what the companies are that are together. And with Tone, there is an air of that, but at the same time, then you have Monet show up with 13 belts, or you have like other wrestlers with random indie belts. We've seen it in the past. He's the Ring of Honor. You have 2 identical looking Ring of Honor tag and trios belts, and then you're on an AEW show. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is just convoluted garbage. So I think all the companies are kind of guilty of doing that right now, other than like TNA. You know, you see a couple NXT champs, but otherwise, I mean, they just really keep it tight. And like AEW's been doing better of not being so egregious with it. I mean, let's be honest. But anyways, moving along here. Let's actually get into, don't forget, guys, after this shit drops to after the feed drops, refresh that shit, hype the video. I don't know. That's like the new thing. So I want everyone to start doing that, I guess.
Sometimes
you know
in
what they
life,
say.
you gotta be a hoe.
Okay, let's get into actual like WWE SmackDown. Let's talk SmackDown. Let's talk about the road to WrestleMania. Let's talk about what some people are saying one of the worst SmackDowns ever. Let's be honest. There's so much shit to talk about in it. that was kind of bad or funky or like what's going on here that some people could be cooking. Now, I don't really give a fuck about the well, that was delayed. I don't care about the cage match ratings and all that shit. Like, that's stupid. And that's just rating matches. So it's not like they rate segments. And if they do, then I'm not privy to that information. And I would never take their word for it. But I'm pretty sure they just rate like match quality, overall match quality. So we talked about Sami Zayn winning the US. And yeah, he beat Carmelo Hayes. And he will defend the US title against Trick Williams. But, like, didn't Aleister Black beat Zayn? So, like, what are we doing? Why isn't there just, like, a TLC match, 4-way or some shit? Or why isn't, like, Hayes fighting Black? Like a 4-way. You could have did a 4-way. I just think these two could have fought for nothing, and Trick gets a huge win at this Mania. And then you're like, oh, shit. But instead, they just kind of quickly, or you do Mello, and no offense to Sammy, like I'm a fucking Canadian. He's my Canadian buddy there, guy friend. And I love that this is like a high profile match for Trick because it's Sami Zayn, though, not because it's the US title. Or why don't you just run Hayes versus Trick with all their history? They could have spent this whole time. Hayes switches good guy. Trick comes in. And then starts like stealing all the shine and going after Hayes and is like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, I came up here. You think you're better than me? I've always been bigger, better, talk better. I've always had more charisma. Yeah, your wrestling's all right. He could have done all that, but I'm gonna lemon pepper step all over that ass. You know, it could have been some shit like that, and they could bring up their fucking history and all this stuff. They could have just been building it since Trick's official debut all the way. Or like after he did his stuff with Randy in the world title, he could have been like, I told you my eyes on gold and you got the gold and I know I can beat you. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
It could have been way better. And then you build up like with their history. You have the video packages there. You have the fucking them interacting. You have the Miz meddling in it a little bit. And then you have fucking Sammy like getting mad at Trick. And then Trick wins the US at Mania. Then Sammy's his first challenger. What does Sammy do, Phil? I don't fucking know, but like, how is this not? Maybe some injuries fuck shit up, but what could they have cooked up harder than Trick versus Hayes with all that history there? After the fucking match quality Hayes has been putting down week in and week out, you're gonna tell me he doesn't deserve a fucking Mania slot? No offense to Sammy, love him, but like, you're going to lose this match, obviously. You could have just done that. You already fucking lose. You could have just lost, like, in the build-up to this and then fought Aleister Black in, like, a no-holds-barred or, like, Aleister Black is beefing with everyone now, too. I don't know, man. I just think they kind of fucked this up. I'm not going to. But good for Trick. Like, yeah, high-profile U.S. title. It's high-profile because just Sammy, not because the title. Why was it? Okay, let's say it's not Hayes versus Trick. Zayn versus Trick. And this match is going to be fire. Don't get it twisted. But it could have just been Zayn versus Trick and then like US title on the line with Hayes versus whoever the fuck else because he deserves a slot on this shit, you know? So anyways, I was a little shocked. And then of course the dirt sheets came out and spoiled this. So I'm not going to harp on this too much because I spent so fucking long burying the dirt sheets. I feel like the last 2 weeks it's just been them digging their own graves. I've gone on fucking uncanny epic rants about this shit. But Fightful put out the title change spoilers an hour before SmackDown. Typical. Wouldn't dare spoil anything on AEW television. And then fucking Fightful themselves put out a Cope like SAP type post where it's like, oh, SAP has given the results of a bunch of stuff and we have given the results of, and they have, in fairness, like, but they clearly lately, man, like we had to get fan footage of MJF. Nobody sees the Ciampa stuff. Everyone swept for the Trey Miguel stuff. Everybody swept for the Ricochet stuff. Right. And then all of a sudden they're spoiling title changes. Like it's straight garbage. And whoever the fuck is back there stooging this stuff, and this is the person backstage saying like, yeah, man, we all think AEW's better and stuff. There's someone back there who's like fully got offended by a creative meeting, who's just going into business for themselves. And you got to weed people like that out, unfortunately. And yeah, it's just plain as day what's happening, and who knows who it is. And that's why they had to strike down with the iron fist on Tama Tonga for posting the rehearsal and shit. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it's like they go hard on stooges. So WWE, they have designated stooges that tell people bullshit. Okay. And then the things that people get accurate are typically non-consequential. Like, really think about it. Like injuries, or like this guy's deal is re-signed, so then they leak it out, or it's really inconsequential. That's usually where the dirt sheets all knock it out of the park, where they're pretty spot on with this shit. Otherwise, I don't know. Now, one other person who got called out was Elbu. And Elbu says, Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu will take place at WrestleMania, and according to sources close to those involved, the expectation is that the bout will be a Hell in a Cell match. And then it turns out that McIntyre and Jacob Fatu are going head-to-head in an unsanctioned match, not a Hell in a Cell. Now, with that being said, I think they're saving the Hell in a Cell for something else, possibly, or they're just scrapping it altogether. But, or maybe last minute, like Orton versus Rhodes, decide they want to use the fucking cell, and Jelly Roll will climb it and no. But Nicolo Piccolo actually said that this is true, that it was a Hell in a Cell originally, and then it got switched to an unsanctioned, and that Elbu's actually spot on here with this. So interesting, to say the least. There's somebody clearly in WWE going into business for themselves right now, though. And it's unfortunate that leading up to this Mania, people are just so hyper-focused on tearing it down. But, like, what do you expect? I'm not surprised in the least, to be honest. And it's hard because I get critical of some things, and I think I'm fair. I'm pretty fair and balanced in a lot of my assessments. I'm just talking shit. But it's like, motherfuckers just think I'm me, or other people who might be critical about SmackDown are just hating to hate. Hate is gonna hate. But that's not the case at all. I get called Fed drone, and then I get fucking, people trying to correct me on fucking aggregating the fucking WWE goddamn marks. Fucking NPC marks out there.
Fucking Mark!
I expected it, but it's just unfortunate that people are just so dead set on spoiling all of WWE stuff, because that's what Elbu was trying to do here. And they have someone working there who's trying to help them spoil shit. And you have everyone hating on Mania. And in fairness, the build hasn't been as good as like the last 2 years. Okay, that happens. Not every Mania is going to be 40 or whatever, or 30 or fucking. And you even see WrestleMania 30. That's famously, like, there was missteps. They had to fucking switch the whole thing so that Danielson wrestled 3 matches or whatever the fuck it was. Or he wrestled Triple H, then he wrestled the triple threat or whatever the fuck. He might have even had a third match somewhere in there. Like, they changed the whole WrestleMania because of missteps. So it's not like you can't spin these things into victories. Hopefully WWE does. I bet Mania is going to cook both nights. These wrestlers are going to go out there, hopefully, with a fucking chip on their shoulder, and they all go and knock it out of the fucking park. I hope for that. I hope for that with All In as well. I hope every pay-per-view Tone goes, I'm going to cut 6 matches off this thing and just really fucking knock it out of the park this time. Right? That goes around everywhere. But apparently Elbu was right about this one. But it's inconsequential. Again, as I was saying before, whether it's a hell, there's a stipulation on this match. Why are y'all trying to, this is what the consequence is. Why are you motherfuckers trying to stooge this shit before Mania? Why? It fucking stinks when this happens, you know? Like, they're not going to stooge everything that happens at All In, but we know Tony's talking to them. That's the difference, too. We know that in WWE, they're trying to not have their shit stooged, whereas in AEW, they are trying to get certain shit stooged, and then whenever, like, a controversy happens, they have a bunch of people run and then just start leaking a bunch of shit. That's the only time. Whenever they have to bury someone, like have to bury a wrestler, leak out and real ages are changed and flip-flopped and all this shit, right? But then whenever it's, you know, it's something serious, it stays under wraps until they have the correct narrative or it's been addressed or whatever. So we see the game, and then with WWE, they just want to stooge title changes, everything. These are the same people crying like Sammy should have won the title from Roman. Do y'all remember that? And now they just like want to leak his fucking title wins. It's crazy, man. And it's super shitty. But I guess Elbu got one right there. Even a broken clock, man, is right once a day or some such bullshit. So we talked about Orton and Cody Rhodes a little bit. He told the guy, we're going to get sniped for all this. I'm going to clip it and put it on Patreon.
Appreciate you. I'll see you soon.
So he's going to see him soon, dude, whoever it is. Ted DiBiase Jr., who do you guys think it is? Fucking Vince, Shane, what is it? So this feud as well, like somebody pointed out how with all the history between Rhodes and Orton, it's like Jelly Roll is in the middle of this, and it's in WWE right now, and especially on this SmackDown, and just a lot of the builds are just like these pull apart brawls with tons of fucking people, whether they're masked or not, just a bunch of people in the ring, which is fine. It's how it should be, pull aparts. But then sometimes it's not. Like sometimes they're attacking. Someone gets attacked rather, and then all the security are just standing around and like, no, don't do anything else. Then they just attack them more, and then they kind of pick and choose when they get overly involved. And then Jelly Roll's in the middle of this shit. He's in the middle of this whole show, and I like that he takes pro wrestling seriously. I appreciate that, and I think it's cool that working out at the PC helped him get his whole weight and life around, and Ozempic, I'm assuming. As far as like his health's concerned and all that. But like Jelly Roll's in the midst of this, there's so much history between these guys and so many different avenues. I think you should be able to take this instead of just like what they've been doing with just all these fucking pull aparts, and like Jelly Roll beating up Kit Wilson's funny and fine. But then now like he's eating an RKO, which is cool. But does this make you want to see WrestleMania anymore? You see what Roman and Punk did for weeks. And I'm not saying you do that exactly, but I don't know, man. The mysterious phone calls aside, I don't know what else. I mean, they've had contract signings and the beatdowns and all of that. And I mean, Rhodes did a lot with Drew. But at what point is like Jelly Roll getting like a focal point kind of their feud, which isn't a bad thing when you have good characters, but I don't know how good his character is in this. You guys know what I'm saying? And so Orton's loving it. Here's Jelly Roll. I think he's doing better fighting like Kit Wilson and just kind of being goofy, and it's almost like childish, you know? It's like what they should be doing with Big Boom AJ in AEW. Infinitely better than like Andrew Schultz and shit like that, but
he can't believe it himself.
Well, that is the most shocking choke slam the superstar with his
toppling Kit.
So yeah, he did the damn thing there. He's better in this. Like, this was fun and funny, and Wilson is really getting himself over as this heel who just bumps his ass off and will go out there and sort of, it's like he's putting himself in a Miz position. Like, there's always got to be the glorified jobber type guy who's like got a gimmick that works and people actually like when he loses, and him winning doesn't really matter. And we'll see what happens when Elton Prince returns. And so I like Jesse Dunia now as well. Like, is he going to be involved on Miz TV, or is he going to be involved as like a special timekeeper or the referee possibly? And they do a special guest referee, like I had Fantasy Mark booked previously, but Rhodes in that position, who knows? There's how many weeks until Mania now? So Jelly Roll getting a dub. So Julia, speaking of shock dubs, man, Julia beats Stratton.
Move, throw a curveball at the right time. Ready? Oh, knees up.
Which is crazy. Got her. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm all for. Oh, come on now, Eric. That's not very fair. Julia should be allowed to get a win. But I don't know, man. I'm a Julia fan, but this kind of like, what are they doing with Tiffy leading into Mania? Is she hurt still or something? Nia Jax drew a dick on Joe Tessitore's notepad. You can clearly see it.
Nia Jax has taken Joe Tess's fan again. It's graffiti.
She drew a dick and balls squirting at him, I think, on Tessitore's paper, which is fucking hilarious. You look at this as well. Here's Tiffy like botching a swanton and almost dying on that one. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened there. Shout her out. I hope she's not hurt. Moving along. Lastly here, people are shitting on the new baddies. The baddies 2.0, Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill feud just somehow went from bad to worse. That bad. It's not that great, but it's like two Haas ladies. Like, if it was two dudes who were like, we're just going to see who's the biggest and baddest, we'd all be like, me. But because it's two chicks, everyone's like, yay. But Jade, I don't even know what I'm saying. Jade brings stooges no one cares for. No, I disagree. Yeah, people are. Faction isn't going to last long. Their promo segment fucking sucked here. This segment fucking sucked ass, but the crowd hates this group and we're booing the shit out of them. And they started booing them with tons of heat right off the rip. They weren't like booing them because of them bumblefucking over the promo. Now we're going to listen to this promo. But yeah, she says, you're not even a person on SmackDown. It's like, what? Elaborate. Pronouns, pal. No, but like, you're not even a person on SmackDown. Like, you're not even on the SmackDown roster is what you're supposed to say, right? So I like it. I like the look, but they gave all three of them mics. And I think they told them, like, go out there and just play off each other and hype man each other. Like, that's right. Like that sort of shit while Jade's talking shit. It had to be something along those lines. They had to have been told, because all three of them have mics. So they're not just, typically, if they're going to take turns talking, pass one mic around. But all three of them with mics, to me, implies someone back there's like, now, like, kind of talk, like hype each other up, like hype man each other. You're each going to say something, but I want you to like hype each other up while you're fucking each doing your little rapping your shit, you know? So let's take a listen to this promo. It is complete butt cheeks, and I like this group though, and they got tons of heat. Like if B-Fab, the first thing she said, "You think we care about all that? That's all good." And then she goes to say another thing, and then steps on Cargill shit, and it's like, buddy, drag me down, or if I'm gonna drag them down. Why is Jade talking? Put her with people who will talk for her. Put this group with Kiana James and get her the fuck away from Julia and let Julia Gulia be Julia fucking Gulia. Now, I like the look. I like the vibe. I've been calling for this. Your boy Philly Phil's been calling for the Baddies 2.0. Fab and if she didn't fucking, if she wasn't beating them up and feuding with them, there it is right there. So this is all giving it a chance. Your fucking first go of something. New Day came out. It didn't go the way they had planned. Then it became the greatest thing of all time. So this does have potential, and there's a look here. There's a vibe. It's all good, but Mitchin is a way better talker. Even BFAB, no offense, Jade, is a way better talker than Jade. So just let them talk. That's why you stuck him with her. She don't got to talk now. She just fucking runs shit. So Rhea just laughs because she knows the other shit's coming. You got another thing coming. And I'm trying to pause it a lot because, again, if this whole WWE section where we just watch clips, this episode gets sniped from YouTube, Patreon, it'll be on there, okay? To get in there with what she has to say, right? Mitchin's just itching to get in.
Selfish backstabber.
So what were they told?
You don't care about who's sacrificed, who's put in the work, as long as you're the one who gets the reward. Yeah.
The BFAB crushed. Mitchin's itching to get in there. Like, she can't wait to say her part, and she was going to start it too early. BFAB's cooking of all of these three. Just let her talk. Let Mitchin hit you with the cane, and then Jade will she'll talk when it's boss talk time. Otherwise, she's just going to fucking show up and beat that ass and be the champion, you know?
Yeah, because hey, shut up.
And then Rhea starts talking over them. Like, what are they doing?
This is not your show. Why do you come make me?
Well, this is not what she said. And then Jade's like, look, who the fuck backstage is stooging? And who the fuck told them to do this? Fire them immediately or lock them up in jail. Okay, BFAB sitting here getting story over, getting character over. Just have her talk all the time for Jade from now on. What the fuck are we doing?
Oh, man.
And if you want to get your
Addressing the crowd too, like look, like not only staring down Rhea, but using her little space there to like look at the crowd and be like this and that. What the fuck are we doing? What was Mitchin doing? Usually Mitchin's better. What the fuck was she doing? And what is Rhea doing talking over people? This is crazy. It's one of the craziest segments ever. Even a freaking person on SmackDown.
My misery.
What the fuck is going on here? She's like, yeah, I'm literally a person on SmackDown right now. Holy shit.
I guess.
Damn, man. I mean, yeah, they done fucked up. I'm not saying this is the worst.
You sound real slick for somebody that got.
I'm not saying this is the worst SmackDown of all time, but that was definitely bad. And yeah, I mean, the build to Mania is what it is. It's already in the bag. It's not like in the next 2 weeks they're gonna salvage shit. It's just basically wait for the show, and this will be what's not a good Mania. What's one that people are like, oh, it's not that good? What, like 11? I'm trying to think. I'm just gonna Google it. What are the worst WrestleManias or considered worst WrestleManias? What are considered the worst WrestleManias? 27, 9, 11, yeah, is on the list. 4, 36. So that's what I'm saying, man. It'll just be one of those ones, but also we don't know until we see it. So the build, nobody goes, oh, that was the worst Mania, and it's based on just the build or just the matches. It's usually an amalgamation of both or one or the other. So we don't know. The Mania itself could just blow us away. Night one could rule, night two could suck, or vice versa. Who fucking knows? But yeah, it's in the bag already. Like the fries are in the bag as far as this fucking Mania is concerned. So don't fucking worry about it here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was WWE news this week. I'll rule you. And or this weekend, I should say. Kevin Pierpont for 2 says Mello for 2. Sweet. Mello versus Trick feels more like a backlash match. So Trick wins it, and then but why? But can I ask you why? Like, why does that feel like a backlash match? Does Carmelo Hayes not deserve, like, I get he's like a cruiserweight type guy, and this is the problem. Like, everybody wants to go, oh, the wrestlers don't want to fucking be called a cruiserweight, and they'll never be called. Okay, well, it's about the fans at the end of the day. I know it's about their career, but in today's day and age, we'll take a cruiserweight or a light heavyweight division. We'll fucking take that any day. You have enough luchas, you have enough smaller dudes, you have Nathan Frazier and Axiom who could fucking split up eventually or just stay a team but challenge for those shits. You have so many guys. Like, bring back the light heavyweight title and say there's a weight limit on it and just lie about the weight limit and shit. Okay, then Hayes, unless he's going after that, like, he's been having all these bangers. He's been shoot fighting Dragunov like 3 times in the last few months. Having bangers with everyone left, right, and center. And they've already hot potatoed. Like, it kind of feels like he just won the shit as well. So, like, why doesn't he deserve the shot at fucking Mania to have a fucking banger, to prove himself, to, I don't know, man. It's just cooked to me. Like, there's something better there for Sammy. There's something better there for Trick as far as story-wise. Like, him and Sammy just don't like each other because the same reason Sammy doesn't like showboaty guys or whatever. I'm ready for Conspiracy Sammy back. There's another jackass coming out. They should have fucking known. Him versus Knoxville, too. How good of a match was that? Zayn versus Knoxville, dude. That match actually ruled. Thank you for the super chat. Ray J and the good the comment there. You know what I mean? And not to shoot down what you're saying, but, like, why backlash? I just think they deserve, like, yes, this is a big win for Trick, but okay, Trick goes over on Hayes at Mania, then he beats Sammy at Backlash, and you're like, holy shit, man, this guy's on a tear. And then at SummerSlam, you give Trick like a high-profile title defense against like a high-profile guy like Sammy in a rematch or something. I don't fucking know. Ray J's World 6852 for 5 says, I watched TNA Sacrifice, so I did not see last night's SmackDown. But Maclin got concussed. Yep, we talked about it. And Eddie Edwards saved the show by attacking Santana. Absolutely. We talked about it when the replay happens, or if you just want to go back and do it now in the TNA news. We talked about it. I broke it all down and how the refs stole the show. Eddie Edwards was awesome for running down and saying, I'm sure somebody told him to do it, right? And either way, though, he took it upon himself to go out there. You get a match maybe out of Edwards and Santana now. And he just went out there to sort of give the fans, like, you got to have Santana kind of do something. We got to salvage this in some way. And that ref was just fucking impeccable, because you could tell there's an uncomfortable moment where Santana's about to throw a punch and it seems like all's good. And then the ref just gets in between them like you would a boxing match. And then she, like, sort of reluctantly throws the X up. And like, and she doesn't like wave them off, but she like throws the X up, gets in between them, and Santana's like, no, wait, you can see them. Maclin even called for the super kick right before it happened. I broke that down as well. He's like, super kick. Then he just ate that shit on the chin. So if they worked it, okay. I mean, he went full starch. Like, you see where his brain seizes up. If he faked it that good, then give him a fucking Emmy or give him a fucking Academy Award right now, because, like, Jesus Christ, that's or give him a contortionist award or something, because, like, goddamn, he was starched, you know. Trick has a higher ceiling than Mello, not where they are now on the main roster. Mello needs to be on a few smaller PLEs for SummerSlam before going to Mania. But you could say Trick is the same thing. You could say Trick the same thing. So I'm with you, but I just think when you're the workhorse, you don't get the payoff of I'm the champ and I drop the title to Trick. And isn't that the pecking order anyways? Like, Mello got called up first. You're right about Trick's potential and how he's going to sort of skip the line a little bit. I don't know. I think that would have been the right move. Just my opinion, though. It's all opinion. Trick will be wrestling Braun for the heavyweight title next year. You're absolutely right. Recency bias will always affect people's judgment. Except Stand and Delivers on its own this year, which is smart, super smart. Whoop that Trick. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes was the main event to Stand and Deliver, so they shared a WrestleMania weekend before. Okay, right. And that might be plain semantics, but yeah, exactly. Like you just fucking, they have that history there. They could have been pulling from story-wise this whole time. This whole fucking time. And I just feel like Hayes is getting a little short change for Sammy, who's a big name. Think about this too. Think about what I'm saying, just logically. Chat can all agree with this. I guarantee it. Is Sammy what makes that a high-profile match for Trick, or is it the U.S. title? Now, I know both. Like, obviously, it's the fact it's both. He'll be holding up a title. It's like when Cena won the U.S. title from Big Show at WrestleMania 20. But you could argue that Cena winning the title from Big Show, like, the title actually made that match. It wasn't necessarily Big Show. It was the fact it was John Cena's big win at WrestleMania for his first mid-title. But realistically, if any of those guys had it, Booker T, Benoit, like anyone could have dropped it to Cena. That was his like coming out party night of where everyone in that building's like, nah, we're cheering Cena, and like full blown, even though he uses the fucking chain to punch out Big Show, we're cheering this guy. You know, that was like his breakout moment. So they kind of want that for Trick. I get it, but it's Sammy that makes that match. Why? Well, because they hot potatoed that belt, and this is what they should have done then if it was going to be more high profile with Trick winning it. They should have just had Sammy never drop it to Hayes, and then he just had bangers with everyone every SmackDown, and then he fucking drops it to Trick after being like the workhorse title guy who's like, I earned my respect. You just talk a big game. You want the WWE title? That's fine. But when you're ready, Trick, I'll be here at the US division waiting for you. And then he just fucking kills everyone. Sammy does banger after banger every single fucking week up until Mania. Then it means more, man. I'm not wrong about this, chat. I know I'm not. I'm cooking with this shit. There's more meat. It's like it's like a fucking kid who takes a bite of the chicken wing and just chucks it away. And there's more meat on that fucking bone that we're not getting into. So that's just my opinion. I don't know. I'm not saying it's the drizzling shits, and I'm pumped for Trick, and the Mania crowd's going to go nuts, and I'm going to be drunk fucking whooping that Trick on stream with you guys. But it's like, you know, Ray J's World for 5 says NXT, AAA, TNA, and Evolve are starting to be more interesting to me than the main roster. Well, a lot of people are saying NXT shit. Apparently, people in NXT think NXT shit. If you listen to the dirt sheets, Ray J. So I don't know, man. Are you sure about that? Oh no, it's true, dude. And Worlds Collide and shit, that's all gonna go off. And again, I'm assuming they're going to do some shit, and they're going to start like really Nuge maxing, not with New Japan, but I just really want to see them start working with Japan more and more, and doing the way they got wrestling super hot. And it's about riding the wave too. Like there was a wave in Mexico as UFC on Paramount celebrates a bunch of its Mexican superstars right now, with Alexa Grasso about to take the stage here. But, we got to see Japan get celebrated and reignited. And it feels so good. We want that to be the absolute case with Japan, and I don't care if it's Noah or fucking whatever's out there. I want to see Japan come back, have Japan just being white fucking hot, and then when they do shows in America, it's like white hot. When the Young Lions come to America, whoa! You can be a fan of WWE and still say yesterday's SmackDown was the drizzling shits. Yeah, it was bad. Like the fact that we talked about how bad it was the shits. Was it the worst like cage match though? It's like I'm not saying that, right? Because I think they just rate matches and shit. But yeah, it was definitely a fucking bad show, dude. And I get called a Fed bot all the fucking time. And the problem is though, you can't, like, everyone's hypersensitive. Because like the criticisms of WrestleMania and the quote unquote lack of buildup, you know, everyone's all sensitive now when you just criticize a normal SmackDown, or you fucking say, look, the buildup, this is WrestleMania 11, folks. This is WrestleMania 27. It's not the best WrestleMania. It might not even be the best show overall. The buildup might not be the best, but it is what it is, man. we'll see. We'll go over the card. I'll do a preview show. And I'll do it with someone fun. Pause. And maybe Husey. And we'll preview WrestleMania and we'll make predictions and we'll see how predictable the card is in and of itself. I know that a lot of the card's been put on paper already, but I'm kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I'm like movie trailering it. I don't know if that's me forcing myself to get more excited for WrestleMania, but I'm like, okay, whatever. They'll announce the women's 4-way tag match when they do it. You know, I don't need to see the graphic yet. Chill. Okay. Give me more story. I'm just like itching for a little more out of like what I know they can do because of the last few years or whatever. You know what I'm saying, chat? So that's totally fine. I think that's totally normal. And all the wackos out there, calm the fuck down. Let's get in AEW news, guys. We got AEW news. But yeah, I'm going to put a poll in the chat, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips, and share this link around, or I'll retweet it on X. I don't know if you guys see it. Just go to my X if you're on X. Come on over, baby. Chime on over, baby. Hit the like, hit the retweet, hit the on Twitter if you're on YouTube, the like, all that good shit. You know, just share it around. Appreciate you guys so much. Post the link and all that good shit. And I'm going to head over to YouTube. I'm actually going to put a new poll in the chat. Like, who do you think it is? And I think I pulled this before, but let's just like do it again because fuck it. Why not? So 40% of you said that SmackDown was not the worst, but not good. 10% of you said it was good. 36% of you, so close to no, not the worst, but not good. I mean, that's relatively the same thing. And then 14% said, yes, it was the worst actually of all time. So a pretty balanced poll there. No 30%, so 36%, but no 36% bad. I don't know why I hit Steamboat Tone there. But I'm putting a new poll, like, who do you think Randy Orton's on the phone with? Who do you think Randy Orton is on the phone with? Because we're going to see them at Mania. Now, imagine this. Can I fantasy bookmark something here? So here, we will put Vince McMahon. We will put Shane McMahon. We will put Ted DiBiase Jr. And then for the fourth, we'll put other. Now, let me sell you on something. Let me sell you on something right here. And you guys vote on this. Is it other? Is it Vince? Is it Shane? Is it Ted DiBiase Jr.? Now, guys, Alexa Grasso just fought Macy Barber, and Grasso just KO'd her. And before Barber even hit the ground, Grasso put her in a fucking rear naked choke and then choked her unconscious too, to where the ref waved it off, and Barber's looks like a dead body, and her eyes are glazed over in such a way to where I think she's just coming to now, and she don't know where the fuck she is. That was crazy. This UFC card has been one of the best, making up for that terrible London card 100%. That's fucking nutty. Holy shit. Go on Twitter and look that shit up if you guys have not seen it. But yeah, vote in the poll there. 90% of you guys think it'll be someone other than Vince or Shane or Ted DiBiase thus far. Let me pitch you on this. I think it could be someone like Royce Keys. And let me explain why. Orton beats Rhodes, but he doesn't do it clean because he's the heel. And Royce Keys shows up and then becomes like Orton's heater, who then Royce can like beat people and shit on SmackDown, like on TV with Randy like in his corner with the title, so that he doesn't have to fight people like he had to do on SmackDown and bump around for people and shit because his time's limited. And yeah, so that is my fantasy mark booking. I think it'll be Royce Keys. And what's crazy is that we don't have a challenger for Gunther either, which I think is pretty fucked. Owens could be good. Chat saying it could be Owens. It could just be voices in his head. He's just talking to himself. Yep. Like he's talking on the phone and then he answers the phone, or he grabs the phone in the middle of the match, or is that too cheesy? And then he fucking goes on the phone and then he fucking looks to the ramp, but then he's standing near the corner. Then he just turns and then punts fucking Rhodes in the head. And it's just like a voice telling him to soccer punt Rhodes. That could rule too. So on the Steve Maclin subject, the way he got super kicked and the delayed reaction, we just saw that with Macy Barber right now. For anybody who thinks he was selling, like we just saw it. She fucking was knocked out and choked out so bad that she fucking went to take down the ref as he separated it. And then she just fucking dropped to her back and her eyes glossed over and she wasn't blinking for like fucking ever. And she was just laying there like a dead body. Like that was... She's okay, but like that was just fucking horrific. Shout out Alexa Grasso. Okay, let's get it. The Rock could be who it is as well. But I wonder, just Gunther's gonna skip WrestleMania. That's pretty crazy. That's what I mean. Like, what is the Fed doing right now? I don't know. Lex doesn't know either. Let's get into AEW news. Oh boy, do we have some good
I don't know
here in AEW news. Okay, let me check out this poll. So some of you guys think 76% say other. I'll leave that poll in there for a bit. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, all together. Actually, I need some liquids. Okay, so we have a Tony Khan was live. We have a Tony Khan live video. We also have roster updates. We have I think some TV rating updates and shit. I'm just chugging ice water. I literally finished my Diet Coke, and then I took a sip of iced coffee, and then I washed it all down with a sip of ice water. I'm cooked. So we have TK Live. We have a bunch of other shit as well in here. And this is going to be a fun one, so everybody strap in. And everybody all together now. Ichi Nissan da, because it is time for AEW news.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
So in roster news, Ricochet said he wanted to apologize for losing his cool and his temper after he lost the AEW National Championship. Now, my conspiracy theory is that AEW's done this in the past with like Adam Copeland and Cope and all this shit. I feel like if you Google Ricochet apology, it instead of it going to the shit he said, it will go to his segment. I apologize, to just steer the algorithm in another way. I swear they've done this in the past. I need to find examples and bring it to the show. I swear I've pointed this out before, and if I didn't, then I'm a goddamn liar. But why else would the segment be like, and then Wrestle Purists are like, he said he wanted to apologize for losing his cool and temper after he lost the national championship. Why? Why would you even post this? So it's weird. And then when you Google it, all of a sudden his first appearance back, it's him apologizing for some kayfabe shit. So then that's what comes up when you Google Ricochet apology. I don't know. Speaking of Copeland, though, he joined the boys NHL on TNT to talk some puck, his journey in wrestling, and even scrapped with Biz. This is awesome. Shout out fucking Edge. More of this, AEW.
I'm all fired up now.
Let's go.
Now in studio, rated R superstar from AEW, Adam Copeland. Cope, it's awesome to have you back on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, this time in person.
I know, I like this.
This is a whole different thing. I'm sorry about the jerseys, guys.
Yeah, no, hey, listen.
There's been so many fucking big time scraps in the NHL lately, and there's been so many crazy ass games, and like Ovechkin doing his thing and fucking McDavid doing his thing and then like melting down at practice. Like NHL, I feel like hasn't been this hot in a while. Am I wrong? Like maybe it's the Florida effect, maybe them winning 2 cups in a row, but I just feel like hockey's just hotter than ever, man.
You gotta represent,
right?
And they're talking about, like, insiders are saying Matthews is going to leave the Leafs and he's either going to go to the Kings, the Ducks, or Utah is like the rumors. Someone like called it out who's gotten this sort of shit right before. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm sorry for you. I suppose.
That's what I was going to ask. What's more painful, being a Leafs fan or getting slammed on a mat?
Ooh, depends on what year you ask me. However, hey, man, we're not in the Ballard years.
Yeah.
It's a win. It's a win.
That's true.
Come on, everybody that's complaining, say, go back to 1982 and then talk to me.
Yeah. And all the fans at home should be thanking us because it was supposed to be Leafs Rangers tonight, but we were kind enough to say we're going to switch up the games, and we gave them a couple playoff contenders.
Not bad. Well, thanks.
So this is a long ass 8-minute long video. I mean, we're not going to go through this whole fucking thing here and hear him talking about puck.
Like he's getting ready to go Probert on it, right? and I was like, don't worry, I won't. But I really want to.
Yeah. Is this at the All-Star game?
It was at the All-Star game.
Okay.
I just met Gretzky, and then I run into Wendell. I'm like, it can't get better.
Oh, wow.
It can't get better for an Orangeville kid.
I got a question.
They're like, dude, we do a panel with Gretzky every fucking 2 weeks. We don't care. I'm just trying to see if he crushed. Not really. He don't have that Trick Willie vibe. But hey, does he talk about AEW? Does he bring it up? Is there a transcript? Like, I don't want to scrub. I wanted to hear if he started talking about AEW, but he's just marking out about hockey. So good for him. In other news, Chris Jericho filed to trademark the Cornerstone tone. I'm the Cornerstone. Unfortunately, I think this motherfucker is returning at April Fool's Day Dynamite in Winnipeg.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
I don't see how else this plays out. You know what I mean? So moving along here. In other roster news, Dave Meltzer talks about Tony Storm, and he goes, I was told outright before even asking about the subject that the 2 subjects Tony Khan will not talk about are Tony Storm and the story about his company putting in a bid to purchase WWE in 2023, Brian. So I will say this. Tone has been asked some tough questions. Like, he got asked about when he was wearing the fuzzy hat and all that shit. You guys remember that? Like, he was asked some serious shit a couple times. But yeah, they sweep for him. And everybody accused WWE of, they don't want to be asked tough questions. Meanwhile, Dave is sitting here just like, I know for a fact Tone told me he won't answer these questions.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
It's just more fucking sweeping. What do you expect from Dave Meltzer? But Tone doesn't even want to talk about other Tone Storm's situation because it's some personal family shit, maybe a kid, maybe private life shit. So we'll just keep it that. I won't even speculate on it further. I don't really give a fuck unless it's something serious. But again, she was able to like go to work and pretend to be hit with a bottle, and then it's just something they don't want to speak on. And why? If it was an injury, it'd be like she's getting an MRI and she was in the hospital and blah, blah, blah. It would get leaked out. So this is like, it's like the Naomi situation, but she's staying super private or something about it. So we'll respect that. And, you know, Dave Meltzer, when it comes to Marina Shafir and Mina Shirakawa, Dave Meltzer exposes here that Tone's whole thing with Ronda Rousey was nothing. Like, she just came out there and fucking sunned Toni Storm for nothing. And then it's not building to a match with her and Marina Shafir or Mina Shirakawa or Toni Storm even. It's all to get to Tekla, is what Dave reveals here.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
So again, I didn't even anticipate felting Dave this much, but like, I guess put flutes in the chat for this one. Like, so Dave is like, AEW originally had plans for Toni Storm to beat Marina Shafir to lead to the start of a Tekla vs. Toni program for the world title. So her original plans, according to Dave, was Toni was going to beat Marina. But when they found out she couldn't wrestle, they laid out the injury angle, and we'll be doing a tease akin to Who Shot JR with clues and such and multiple potential assailants. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Tone's like, this is great. This is amazing. It's a murder man. Knives Out. AEW Dynamite. Holy shit. So also it's about like getting to Tekla for the world title, he reveals. And so Ronda coming out was just her plugging the fight so that Tone could live out his little fantasy that he's beefing with TKO and WWE and shit. It's pretty fucking cringe, man. So we move along here. And in other roster news here, Kenny Omega recalls congratulating Cody Rhodes when his role as Guile in Street Fighter was revealed. And everybody was responding to this. Everybody, Brian. A lot of people were responding to this, and they were like, oh, he's so jelly. And I've been saying it the whole time. Like I pointed out, dude, you're a Capcom Cup cosplaying. Kenny cosplayer at the Capcom Cup. Kenny cosplayed 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 at the Capcom Cup. So I'm autistic. So yeah, dude, he congratulated Rhodes, and listen to how weird this is. This sounds like there's some heat. There's a bit of a contention. There's a bit of awkwardness between them. Kenny Omega goes, I remember one of the first things I did when it was released that Cody was going to play Guile. I gave him a message and I said to him, hey, Codes, I just want to say congrats. I know the old me would have been just fuming. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang. He would have been jealous. He would have been upset that you got this role, but I'm just excited and happy for you. Good night. And so finger bang. And so he's like, hey, the old me would have been a hater, but I'm just happy for you right now. What the fuck what are you talking about, dude? What kind of emotional damage is this shit?
Emotional damage.
You're clearly jelly. And again, you're like cosplaying the fucking dudes in the game. He's playing them in the movie. It's just levels to this shit. And then also it's like, is there heat between you? Hey, Codes. It would have been way different back then between us, I know. It's like a scorn lover's love letter or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Kenny, I guess, happy for Rhodes. But I'm not really buying it, to be perfectly honest. So, in other controversial news, Kyle Fletcher calls the day of AEW All in Texas one of the worst days of his life. Such a lonely day. Should be wrestling Adam Cole. But I powerbombed him on the apron, on the back of his head. Such a lonely day. So Fletcher was like, this is the first time I've actually really spoken about that day. It was one of the worst days of my whole life. When you have so much built up anxiety and you've put the pressure on yourself, you know, I'd been dieting for 2-3 months leading up to that show. Oh, poor baby, a diet. Poor pro wrestler had a diet, get in shape. Come on, man. Every single day I'd been thinking about this moment, this match, all of it. And then the rug gets pulled 5 hours before. You can't really put into words what that kind of feels like. Buddy, didn't Fletcher power bomb Adam Cole on the back of his fucking neck? Which is why the match didn't happen.
Wrestling's not fake!
And then Buster Brian Alvarez was like, oh, it's from the lariat he ate. Brian's like, oh, he ate a lariat, and that's what knocked Adam Cole out. And no, dude, that's not where these other injuries, like he recovered from that, Brian. You're thinking about when like Hangman or Okada, I forget which guy, like clotheslined the shit out of Cole and rocked him, right? And then he came back, and then he like jumped off the thing and broke his ankle. And then he came back again and got like bombed on the apron. My timeline of events are off, I know, but like there's a series of events where he just kept getting fucking hurt and rocked, and these injuries get exacerbated, and nobody trusts Will Ospreay's doing good, because when Adam Cole came back, his body was all fucked up too, and everyone's like, should he be wrestling? And then you look at Ospreay, and he's like, not even Joey Swole. Do you even lift, bro? He's like, yeah, bruv, I rushed my neck injury, and then let me do a red arrow off the top to the outside, bruv, and I'm not even super jacked or anything like that. Like, I don't have delts that are fucking just rippling to where you're like, oh, dude, his neck is the $6 million neck, pal. Right? He just rushes a return when he doesn't even need to. Like, All In is, like Will Ospreay at All In London is Will Ospreay at All In London. That's all the match is predicated on, really. So just show up when you're more healthy and get in better shape. It's crazy. Adam Cole, it's not even body shaming. It's just people pointed it out with Adam Cole. They're like, he looks frail. Dudes are power bombing him on his fucking head on the apron. And then this guy's like, oh, but my diet. The grind, bro. My diet. And I like Fletcher, but like, come on, man. I don't feel like I have the right to complain about it. He's like, this is my perspective. I don't know. I think Fletcher's fair when he goes on to say, this is my perspective. It's very hard for me to complain about it because I don't have the right to. But yeah, it was very emotional in a lot of different ways. How do you want a big day like that to go? So I think especially this year, I just want to make sure it's a day to remember and a much more positive one. Yeah, good on him. I don't think he said anything crazy. The IWC kind of jumped on him. And yeah, before you get to this part where he's like, obviously, this is my perspective. I don't have any right to complain, but I'm just telling you if I could complain. And then he proceeds to complain. But either way, shout out Adam Cole, man. God damn, I hope he's doing okay. That's for sure. So in other roster news, Aubrey Edwards recently signed a new contract with AEW. Everyone, round of applause for Aubrey Edwards. And yeah, the greatest referee in the world, bar none. The second worst referee in AEW, in my opinion. Right? She signed a new contract to become, or to remain a referee rather, and hopefully not become a wrestler again. But one thing that didn't get renewed is Will Washington and Aubrey Edwards' podcast, AEW Unrestricted. Now, if you guys remember on PWT live show, I tried to incorporate a segment where I was going to go through, because their pods are like anywhere from 30 minutes to like an hour maximum. So I was going to go through them all and WATP them, basically, where I was going to go through the library and just make fun of them and shit and just point out like stupid shit. And the problem is that I got Aubrey Edwards, I got Don Stevens like immediately from that, and I had to clip it all out. So I was thinking like I'm going to do a pod where I go over these episodes, maybe on Patreon or something, but they ended this fucking pod. So this might be the fucking time to do it. And are they going to remove them off YouTube? I don't know. Some of them would get like 400 views though. They would interview people. They interviewed the guy who did their book and it got like 600 views. Again, I'm not view shaming. Right? But it's like, what was the point of it? Like, what were you paying them? And then Nyla Rose, poor Nyla Rose, like that was the only thing she appeared on. You know, she's just been exiled. This is the only fucking thing she's done in forever is appear randomly on the show. And the interviews are just so bad And wrestlers come on and just glaze Will Washington, essentially, because they know he's got Tony's ear. And Aubrey is just always like sitting there, just making faces and like overreacting to shit. And like, I don't know, dude, it's an audio pod. They even have like the music piped in for the ad spots, which is like what you do for an audio pod. So I don't know why she's doing that. And I don't know. It's just craziness. And then some of them, though, Mina Shirakawa went on there and got like 4K views. So it is what it is. Maybe we'll completely dent and decimate that pod, PWT Unrestricted, coming soon. But yeah, it's all going on that My AEW thing. So they're like, yeah, come and watch My AEW. We have fucking AEW Unrestricted on here and whatever. And then they're just these shows that they're canceling. You guys know what I'm saying? Like that RJ City one got canceled. Why are they scaling back on all this stuff? They're making all this money, man. It's because Tone allocated the money poorly. They're not going to get more money. Tone's stacking all his chips on My AEW, and they're not going to keep funding that. Now, what do they do with these YouTube channels? Do they just become dormant? Why did they set up AEW games and they get 103 people watching unless we give them the Phil Marks Rogan bump? I don't understand. But it is what it is. So this show's going away. And the final episode of Unrestricted came out today with Aubrey Edwards and Will Washington. They produced more than 300 episodes. They noted AEW has plans to develop even more podcast content in the future, which will air on YouTube and My AEW app. Just not yours. I hate to laugh like an asshole, but I'm telling you, man, when I sense this shit, that's why I started trying to roast it on the YouTube show, but they weren't having it. Don Stevens was not having that shit. Maybe they won't care anymore. But Aubrey Edwards actually reacts to it before we get into AEW Plus or My AEW. Yeah, sorry. Aubrey Edwards reacts to it being shut down, the show being shut down here. And she goes, I've been crying. And this is on Instagram. She says, I've been crying on and off about it for a few weeks. But I'm smiling listening to it this morning. It's incredibly bittersweet as I'm not going anywhere. This is just an end to one of the few projects I work on at AEW. Now I get those precious few hours back every week to put into being the best referee I can be. Okay, it's like a 45-minute long pod. So what are the hours? Or is it just heavily edited? Like, what are the fucking hours you're putting in on the show? Like, is she editing it and all of this stuff? That could be why some of those channels don't pop off either. Like could you imagine if Washington and Aubrey were like, yeah, I'll do it all. I'll edit it. I'll put it out, blah, blah, blah. Like, are they getting paid to produce that show? Let's go on YouTube and then let's look up AEW Unrestricted and let's look at the views, and just see if it's worth it. Like, AEW Unrestricted. So it's on AEW podcasts. So do they keep putting podcasts on here? And what other podcasts are on here? So there's AEW Unrestricted, and that's it. All there is on here, and I think it was called AEW Unrestricted, the channel, then they changed it. So they have 6.12 subscribers. Okay. And we'll just look at some of the fucking views. So 5 days ago, Zeta Steel got 1.8K. The Revolution preview got 1K. So, all these people are buying Revolution. Why sell it to them? Just save your goddamn money and time and do a fucking indie show and do a pay-per-view once every few months. What does Tone not understand? Lee Moriarty, 500 views. Steve Orlando, who wrote the fucking comics. Oh, my God. I'm going to read these. I'm going to read these comics on the air. Okay, and my friend's going to come on who crowdfunds comics. I'm fucking linking up with him. He was just at, I want to say, MegaCon. What cons were going down recently? He's all over the place. But Steve Orlando from DC Comics is on here, and maybe I'll watch this pod with him too. Josh Matthews got 607 views, dude. Busta and the Brain got 1.1. Luther got 1.1. Madison Rain 800 views. 671. 1K. 1.2K for Nyla. Favorite pay-per-view matches of 25, 560 views. Look at this. Story Denali. Who? 4.2K. RJ City, 7.7K. They even canceled his shit. Look at Mina, 7K. So, like, Kyle O'Reilly goes on there, 1.1K. Mark Briscoe, 1.2K. So, like, it's okay. I'm not view shaming anybody. I'm not fucking hate, but it's like, realistically, what are they fucking doing here that's riveting? Like, you listen to the show and it's just them being like, yeah, AEW's awesome because I can just kind of do what I want. And you're great, Will Washington, I assure you. And because I know you have Tony's ear and everything's just kind of awesome. And then Aubrey Ed's just there like making faces and fucking, I don't really get it. So we move along here. And we talked a little bit about my AEW. So AEW Plus not accepting new subscribers, right? And so AEW and Triller fight era is over. The AEW Plus subscription service on Triller TV for international fans is no longer accepting new subscribers. The Join AEW Plus page on Triller simply states that AEW Plus is no longer open to new signups and users are directed to My AEW. So again, why are they doing this? Why are they bulking this up? So is AEW Plus... was AEW Plus and Triller / Fight in America? Ooh, whoa. No, it's not available in the United States. It was the international. So yeah, they're gearing up, sending everyone there first to My AEW. And then from there, they just roll it out to the U.S. if they can't get a deal anywhere. And they'll just do it anyways. And what they'll do, this is my prediction. This is my personal prediction. So don't listen to me. I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm fantasy Mark.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
They're going to fucking like get a deal with Amazon or something, but just like we won't even know. It'll be like an undisclosed amount. Paramount will give them the boot. They'll get money from like Amazon and they'll stream live and you can get the pay-per-views through Amazon or some shit like that, some streamer. And then we'll never know the numbers still, but it won't be good, obviously. And then they will be on My AEW as well, simulcast. Okay? So that's my prediction. And yeah, AEW Plus not accepting new subscribers. It's like when the WWE Network went out of biz, but way less tragic. So speaking of AEW, let's hit a quick reset here. What's chat saying here? So 613-805-42 says the best guys, Tony Khan. Dude, I got you.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
I got you. Paul Carpenter has been a member for 11 gosh darn months. I appreciate it so much, buddy. Where's my acknowledgement?
Acknowledge me.
You guys fucking rule. PWT. Thank you guys for all the fucking continued support. And yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Have I been cooking tonight, chat, or am I too distracted by this banging ass UFC? Pfeiffer's fighting Adesanya. It's been a good one. What is Scott D'Amore doing with Khan there? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we, friends? Yeah, no Triller in America. Ooh, whoa. Yeah, Triller's going bye-bye. You're absolutely right. Maybe they'd get some views if these pods were on the AEW channel and not on a separate channel. Yeah, like they're so dumb. And then think about this. They're like, everybody go to My AEW. And then what's on there? AEW Unrestricted, a show that they're canceling that gets 500 views. How many fucking people are going to go over there? This is what I'm saying, man. You see their YouTube presence. You see the live attendance. The only time AEW cooks, we got to stop saying cook. Anytime they're cooks maxing, okay, with their fucking numbers is just shit that Dave Meltzer makes up. The pay-per-views. There's a great one here that somebody dropped of Dave Meltzer, like as I went on the air. And I took a break from Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment this past week. It'll be back this week, though. Don't worry. And Dave Meltzer, though, he's like, explain AEW. That's what he said to someone who's like, pay-per-view's dead. And it's like, well, Dave, you're the only one who explains AEW, and you're a fraud and a phony. So, yeah, it's just funny, and we're going to see what happens, but they're going with my AEW. That's where they're going to end up. They're going to simulcast on there and like Amazon. Maybe they get some deal where they're like, I don't know, like Tubi or some shit. Like they're trying to get in the wrestling space, but would Tone take that? I don't know. They give them some of like the revenue share on those free ones or whatever, right? Like they, if you guys follow like entertainment shit on Twitter, you see people have broken down like how Tubi approaches this shit and what cut they give people and stuff like that. So maybe Tone will just take a deal like that, but. Okay, let's get into some more news. Adesanya's having a phenomenal fight, and this whole goddamn thing. This whole card has just been spectacular. And there's a halt in the action. Sorry, guys, and I'm just trying to see what the fuck it is. And Obafemi got a shout out on commentary as well for the UFC. We will talk about that perhaps next show. Or maybe I could show you guys quick. Yeah, we'll talk about this on the next show. Sorry, guys. Adesanya did like I just want to actually watch these fucking clips. I like to react to it live. Actually, we'll just do it in a second here. Might as fucking well. Okay, so let's get back in AEW stuff here. We have some ratings talk, and then we have some Tony Khan cringe, and Collision tonight's going down, or maybe it's over. I'm not sure if you guys have watched it or not. Let me know the results. I've been watching this spectacular UFC where Adesanya seems to be in rare form tonight in one of his classic back and forth wars. And I know Tony Khan hopes to be over here on Paramount, but with these ratings turning around a little bit in their favor, maybe that could happen, but I just doubt it. And so speaking of the ratings here, we see AEW Dynamite's ratings surge once again. They've been growing week by week a little bit, allegedly. Now, Jedi Goodman, I've been bookmarking him because he's in the MMA and pro wrestling space a little bit, but just TV in general. Like he also drops numbers for just like shows that aren't wrestling or MMA. And Raj Giri's in like Japan or some shit. So he hasn't been posting the ratings for the last like week or so. And so Dynamite, shout out Jedi Goodman, but AEW Dynamite episode 336 averaged 765K viewers, 0.14 in the demo. Last week, 730.13. So you could argue that AEW's like growing week by week again, because what did they do the week before that? I think it was something similar. And so last year, same week, they did 663. So they've grown. They're down in the key demo, but overall viewership up, panel only. This does not include HBO Max. Now, here's my assessment of AEW. You guys know that, I mean, I've said it a bunch. I think chat largely agrees, or maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to make fun of AEW, and that's totally cool too, man. But they've put on some better shows. Now, was this last Dynamite better than like some of the shows they put on the last little while? No, but I mean, they have a fucking champion. They have challengers. There's like a clear pecking order. They didn't have to put the number one contender on the line. That was fucking stupid, but at least they pulled it off, and they did a good rating or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, man. They didn't have to do that. They could have just had the fucking match. And we can kind of discern what the pecking order is, unless you're going to bring back rankings and shit. I digress. They've been kind of on the right track. They've been WWEing it up, though. So I wrote this. I wrote, whatever Tone's doing, he's got to stay locked in. Now, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here. Like, if you guys want to cope and fucking dismantle and conspiracy theory fucking Nielsen ratings one way or the other, I mean, you can do that. Now, if NXT legitimately, which we're going to break down here in a second, if NXT legitimately is not getting this extra boost that the fucking all the other sports and that AEW allegedly has been receiving, and NXT's just not getting it, and SmackDown's not getting that boost or whatever, okay, prove it then, and I'll gladly. I just did not know that. That's some shit I did not know. Why isn't it converted to the panel-only system? But we're also going to see Nielsen get debunked a little bit, and you guys know, I laugh at the key demo. Like, is that even really the... Who cares about these TV ratings? We're going to look at them and go, that's who's killing it in TV. If AEW is receiving this boost, okay, all sports are receiving this boost, and people are flexing about the NFL. So why are we now trying to debunk Nielsen and shit? I don't fucking know. I thought everybody understood. It is just sort of this whatever fucking number that doesn't really matter. So let's give Tone the benefit of the doubt. Here's my initial thoughts when I saw this. Whatever Tone's doing, he's got to stay locked in and keep Fingershay offline. AEW has been very AEW lately, and that's seemingly working. Just like TNA, it's going to be a slow climb back to glory. The HBO Max numbers that are invisible to everyone but Meltzer's imagination are still fake, though. That doesn't change, okay? And why is there this huge boost? So just a bunch of older people who don't stream are all watching on. The key demo's going down year over year, but the overall's going up. So what does that mean? Or went up, so what does that mean? Older people are fucking watching AEW, Dave. That would be, and that's sort of what I called. I was like, I think it's kind of like the old head thing now.
Poor people don't like AEW.
I don't believe all the Utes are over there streaming on HBO Max necessarily, right? Just based off sheer numbers. But either way, the HBO Max numbers that are invisible to everyone but Meltzer's imagination are still fake, though. Also, the sickos who now care about ratings and like more vignettes, promos, and recaps told ya. Told ya. We told you, motherfuckers.
Just in from Phil Marks of PWT. He says, I told you so.
And I wrote, there's a perfect balance, and AEW has been hitting the sweet spot. They have been. And anybody like, no, these numbers are inflated, you're just saying that. No, I'm not a retard. They have been doing, well, maybe I'm a little bit. No, they have been doing better paced matches and better formatting. Like, some of the formatting's pretty bad sometimes lately. Mostly overall in AEW it's bad, okay? But like, they have been having better TV matches and like matches that don't go too long, and hopefully they can lock in on, okay, they're going to jam pack over stuff, the pay-per-views. There is a sweet spot that WWE's not hitting too, of like, hey, there might be too much like bullshit going on and then not enough of, or well, here's the thing, WWE sometimes does like 20-minute fucking matches that are like kind of boring, like kind of mid, or you've seen the opponent or whatever, or it'll have like multiple commercial breaks and you're like, fuck. So the pacing can be better. Look at the Attitude Era. There's a sweet spot of like craziness going on and then chaos and then vignettes and recaps, and you need the recaps. That's a bone. WWE nails that, but AEW's been doing more recaps and shit. So the fucking show has absolutely been more focused like on a certain core group of people. And last Dynamite I think wasn't so good, again, because they kind of, not to shit on Roosh or anything, and again, Roosh is a guy where Darby barely gets any reactions for. Look at Andrade. Look at Bandito. Look at how hot AAA and CMLL is. Push fucking Roosh, Tone. Like, try something different. The crowd was going nuts for him. I'm not sure if it's more racist that like every Mexican wrestler just gets fuck ice chanted at them on their behalf, right? I don't know if that's more racist than the sentiment, but I mean, hey, they started chanting fuck ice when Roosh was out there. Fucking push Roosh, man. Nobody cares about Darby in this shit, okay? Everyone's over that. Look at how hot like Andrade and some of these guys have gotten. Like, you're telling me Andrade versus Roosh for the international title couldn't be a good feud with how hot like Lucha is overall in Mexico and especially America right now. And you're teamed up with CMLL and shit. It just seems crazy to me. You don't push Roosh more. Anyways, and I wrote this. There's a good balance. AEW's been hitting the sweet spot. Anyone can book good matchups, but it's what happens around those matches that matter most on TV. Lastly, this past Dynamite wasn't even the best episode the last couple of months, but it wasn't dog shit either. So that's a really good sign. If they encourage humility, whittle down and refine the pay-per-views a little more, stop forcing certain guys on us, Darby, Orange Cassidy, Garcia, change the aesthetic so they have their own identity because they just look like WWE light aesthetically. That's on their production and their fucking the way the ring looks and shit. That's not, that's got to change too. They can and will turn it all around. I'm being optimist Phil there, dude. But some people are like, nay, these fucking ratings are shiesty. So Hiale J. Boogle responds to Jobber Nation. And Jobber Nation says these Nielsen ratings, the Nielsen ratings change should be investigated. I don't believe these numbers. So why are some people on panel plus whatever, and then some people are on Nielsen? I don't fucking understand any of it. Lex Luger. What's going on here with all
I don't know.
Me neither. But this guy says Nielsen ratings are fake, or he's quoting something. Nielsen ratings are fake, and they lost their accreditation for 2 years. Yeah, and so has Billboard numbers, so has radio charts. Like, none of that shit means anything anymore. I think we all kind of understand that. And the Nielsen ratings are just like bullshit. But they're at least investing millions of dollars into, well, we're trying to develop a methodology of quantifying this shit and tracking it. So you're not doing that. And other people aren't doing that. So it's still, there's some merit upon it as far as like, does it work? Like, is this working? How does their method work? I don't know. But like, are these show? Can we just reasonably say, okay, this show is very popular. Everyone's talking about it. And, it happens to did do 8 million on Nielsen. Like, we can determine that's a popular show. It's a fucking draw. Social media's buzzing about it. Everybody's talking about it. I think reasonably you can look at it, and it's a way of measuring it, whether it's inflated or decreased or a sort of a shiesty measurement. At least they're like sinking millions into developing methods and then trying it and then giving you a fucking number. And that's why, like, when people are like, Netflix is fucking doom and gloom. Okay, but I always have that in mind. You guys are believing Nielsen and like whatever the key demo is, but you're not looking at like Raw globally, but those are right from Netflix. That's right from the horse's mouth, the numbers. And so I'll believe those numbers. And yes, they could play with them, but we've shown instances where Netflix has not. They could have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids, and they don't take advantage of the opportunity to lie about the numbers and shit. And so I've always figured that, and like what actual key demos are. Again, I always say, like, is this really the key demo 18 to 49? Like, so I don't know. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point, and like I'm not about to sit here and try and debunk fucking Nielsen. I think that's crazy after people have been parading the Nielsen ratings around whenever they've been good for WWE. That's kind of cooked now to try and diminish whatever they're doing. But anyways, not to mention Byron Allen realized this, and he has a lawsuit against Nielsen. Tony Khan is trying to save his show because Paramount will not renew AEW with less than 1 million views on primetime. AEW ROH can't even give away free admission to see Okada wrestle in a warehouse for ROH. I mean, that's fucking true, but how does Tony Khan manipulate it? Just pays Nielsen to fucking put the money in the bag. So Netflix calculates views by dividing the total hours viewed by the title's total runtime, a metric that levels the playing field for shorter content and better reflects popularity than just hours alone. Right, it's all about retention rate and shit like this. I talk about it all the time. Netflix, yeah, I believe if the way they do it, I believe their numbers are accurate for the way Netflix is running their business and shit. You know, Nielsen, whatever they're trying to do, okay. Everyone's getting the boost, though. Other sports are too. So just assume they're getting a bit of a boost then. I don't know. It doesn't change anything, really. You can still look at the trends, like percentage trends. The Weather Channel's owner claims Nielsen cannot reliably rate smaller networks and concealed the flaw in its system to maintain its dominance on rating services. CF Entertainment on Wednesday sued the Nielsen company for fraud, arguing the ratings giant provides a fundamentally defective service that has caused networks to lose billions of dollars in ad revenue. CF, which is owned by Byron Allen's media group, alleges ratings on its network and other similarly situated companies were undercounted by hundreds of millions of views. So yeah, measurement inaccuracy. Nielsen rating complaint centers on significant undercounting of viewers, particularly during the pandemic, which led to a loss of MRC accreditation in 2021. Critics, including the Video Advertising Bureau, allege that Nielsen's panel-based system is outdated, overrepresents older demographics, and fails to accurately capture modern streaming habits. I mean, okay. So, like, that's what Meltzer was coping about when the ratings were bad. Oh, they can't be trusted, Brian. So, like, we can't now then turn around and cope about the fucking, we can't do that, guys. I'm not doing that. But there you go. I hope that clarified anybody's thoughts on any of this shit or anybody's questions on any of this shit. It could all be fake. They're phonies. Speaking of a fake and a phony, the coach and bro, let me tell you, the coach reached out and this happened. And this segment's called The Best Guys, Tony Khan.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
And so what happened here was the coach reached out all of a sudden to Tony Khan. It was like, man, we'd love to have you on. And Tone's just running the rounds, co-opting the media. Of course, Coachman and Russo have a vendetta against WWE just based on the fact that they thought, well, Coachman knows like Vince and his camp, so that's where his shit comes from. And then Russo thought Triple H would give him a job. Okay, bro? And so the coach says, we have an open invitation for Tony Khan to come on our show. We had a great conversation today with one of his female stars, Maya. If he came on shows like ours instead of podcasts of people will only ask questions they want to know instead of asking questions to make him think about how he was going about his business, then maybe a few things would change. I know this from my time in the WWE. You can't possibly have all the ideas, and the more good people you put around you, normally the better any product is. Come on, Tony, any day. And then Tony Khan goes, I would love to come on the show with you. And Vince Russo, coach, I've been a fan of both of yours for many years. Also, I think that Vince is doing a tremendous job on JCW Lunacy, which I enjoy very much. And then Vince Russo goes, bro, Tony, it would be an honor. After saying this, Tony Khan's a fucking mark, bro. Tony, it would be an honor. Seriously, when can we do this? We're live on Stadium at 11 a.m. East on Thursdays, bro. I invented wrestling. You love wrestling, bro. Here's the thing, man. This feels forced and cringe. And I think they talked previously. This isn't a real challenge. And Tone going, oh, come on. Is what he's going to do is it's going to be either one of those surface level Ariel Helwani fucking conversations, like everybody gives Tone, or they'll be like, well, your year over year on your last show has been great, Tone, because it has been recently. So then Tone can get away with just being like, oh, everything's up, everything, blah, blah, blah. And I just think this is cringe as fuck, and it feels forced. Like, they must have worked this out prior. And then Tone's like, go on there and challenge me.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Challenge me to come on your podcast. It's great. So that's pretty crazy. And he's a fan of JCW Lunacy. So obviously they're going to link up. This might have been like a Violent J play as well, because he was in you know, ICP's been in WCW, WWF, I think even ECW. So, you know, Tone's a mark for that shit. And Violent J has been really helping people out and like trying to make amends and like trying to invest in pro wrestling and MMA stuff. So that's been really great, as Tony Khan would say. And speaking of investing in pro wrestling and whatnot, we are minutes away from ROH MLP Global Wars. AEW President Tony Khan and Maple Leaf President Scotta Moore tell us about tonight's huge event. So let's lock in. It's time for some Tone. Him and D'Amore meeting up, and here is some Tone Cringe with Scott D'Amore.
Backstage here at ROH and MLP Global Wars. Tony Khan, honored to have you here on behalf of Ring of Honor. Thank you for coming to Windsor. Thank you for bringing Global Wars here to Canada.
Thank you for collaborating. Thanks for teaming up with ROH, Scott. It's great to have MLP and ROH working together. I love these Global Wars events. I love working with great promoters. We've had great collaborations in the past. Global Wars is an awesome event. You can watch it. It starts minutes from now. ROH MLP Global Wars. There's so much great wrestling coming to you tonight. It's a great partnership. Whenever we've had these Global Wars events.
Oh my God, why is he sitting there with like Shakespeare? To be or not to be? That's a spicy meatball. What is he doing? Oh, that's a Super Mario, the Super Cardio Brothers. And D'Amore's like looking down. He's like, what the fuck? He's a Mario. I'm a Luigi. They should totally dress up as Mario and Luigi for Halloween and do this promo again.
When ROH teams up with great promotions like CMLL in Mexico or MLP tonight in Canada, you can expect an awesome show. We've got top stars from AEW and ROH here representing us tonight. Scott's got top stars from Canada representing MLP. We're going to have an awesome night, and I can't wait.
Yeah, this is amazing, Tony. You know, business that I came into was about closed doors and siloing yourself. What you have done and what Ring of Honor and AEW have done with Global Wars and the Forbidden Door have changed things. Collaboration is king. Everybody wins when you work together. So thank you for being a positive force, and thank you here. Global Wars is going to rock tonight.
Yeah, so what happens when Tone, like, one day tries to work with WWE or sell them the library and fucking... Like, if WWE approached AEW and was like, let's do a crossover show, he'd do it in 1 second. And then what the fuck would all the sickos say? That's what's so funny. They all wanted...
Backstage
They
here.
all tried to shit on Scott D'Amore and TNA. And, oh, they should be thanking Tony Khan. Do you guys remember that? Then D'Amore dips out. He's working with Tone behind the scenes. They make this video. That's fine. But again, we're seeing it play out more and more on screen. And I told you guys a long fucking time ago that they were
Thank you,
up.
fuck you, bye, boom.
So we move along here. We have a 7-minute Tone video to end things here this evening. Here is Tony Khan again. He's in front of a high school gymnasium. That's where they keep the balls and shit in there and the nets and all of that. And he's always at like a school or a college or showing off elementary school shit. Again, typically his knees are in the frame. Now he's only in half the fucking thing. So it's like either put captions on the top or pictures on the top or fuck off. Why is it being filmed this way? This completely sucks. Tone looks incredibly excited. And you'd think for a rich guy, he'd have better service. Like, look at the choppiness of this video.
It is great to see you. I hope you're all having a wonderful...
Okay, and he sounds like he's been shoved in a locker.
Saturday night. I'm so excited because we are...
This is him. It's great to see you. We're having an exciting night. Tone, you sound fucking bored. Have the addies not kicked in yet?
minutes away from Saturday night AEW Collision. It's always a crazy environment. There's always a lot of exciting things happening in AEW. And certainly there's a lot of people looking for a fight tonight. We have some big matches, multiple championship fights, big titles and big stakes tonight with the Women's World Championship, the Women's World Tag Team Championship with the Babes of Wrath, the former champions, taking on the Divine Dominion. It was at AEW Revolution, the Divine Dominion won the championships under somewhat questionable circumstances after Willow Nightingale went out there and had a great match one-on-one with Lena Cross. She was attacked afterwards, attacked viciously, and she went out like a fighting
How many fucking, oh my God, how many tickets is this selling?
champion, defense
6,000 views on this. This is like fucking hours ago.
the tag team championship. And tonight, I think it's going to be a great match this time. I'm excited to see the Babes of Wrath get a fair fight, the former champions, against the current champions, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. I'm also very excited about the international championship match.
You're the only one.
With the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, taking on the Jet, Kevin Knight. This is going to be an awesome.
And I looked at the graphic too, and it's like Kevin Knight has a belt, Okada has a belt, and then the Babes of Wrath, like Willow has a belt, and then the tag champs have belts. And it's like, fuck, dude, none of this shit means anything.
Awesome match. The Jet, Kevin Knight, is 1/3 of the AEW World Trios champions, and he took that championship at the expense of Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada was a double champion. He was making huge money here in AEW as a double champion. He's still making a lot of money, but not as much as he was at the expense of losing that World Trios championship. And Kevin Knight also.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tone? So now all of a sudden Tone's trying to get over, well, you make more money if you're the champ. And he had 2 belts, so he made more money. The Trios champs, you get paid way more. So you're paying this guy more than the fucking millions you're already paying him when he and I know it's kayfabe, but it's just like, buddy.
Is one of the very few people ever here in AEW.
Why? Where did that come from? Because he can't put $500,000 on the line this collision? Because he knows that that's a played out thing that he did too much?
Score a win over Kazuchika Okada back in the Continental Classic in December. And we've seen Kevin Knight. He's just on fire. And Kazuchika Okada, one of the all-time greats. This is going to be an awesome match.
Time Cup
for the AEW International
Yeah, dude, you said that 14 times. Just fucking move on. We get it. You're excited for it.
Championship tonight. Kazuchika Okada versus the Jet, Kevin Knight. And also, we had a great national championship blackjack battle royal. We saw.
Imagine like you're the most uberest sicko. Wait, a national? You just said international, so a national blackjack battle royal. What the fuck? Motherfucker, I'm going to go watch Invincible. I'm going to go watch the Spider-Man trailer again. Like, what the fuck? Tone, on the internet, with it, when you're doing clips and little quick live, hey, you're competing with like what WWE's doing. You know that, right? You're competing with like Spider-Man trailers or titties. You got to be way more exciting than this.
The Bang Bang Gang's Ace Austin clash in that match with the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. Very excited for that match tonight. Ciampa has been tremendous.
Sounds like he's at a fucking civic center, a fucking pool. He sounds like he's at a fucking pool change room.
AEW Ace Austin has been an exceptional rising star. I think that's going to be an awesome one-on-one fight. And we've also had some interesting requests here tonight. People looking for big fights tonight. Saturday Night Collision. People always want to get in the ring. We have so many stars in AEW that
all right for fights.
Great TV time and those big opportunities.
You like these glasses? Elton John gave them to me.
And we've had some new stars this year. We've signed a lot of great new stars. And 3 wrestlers I'm very excited about here in AEW are the Rascals. We've had the Rascals come into AEW. We've seen, of course, Wentz and Xavier very successful as a tag team. On ROH a couple days ago, we saw.
So on Collision, are they showing like vignettes and recaps? Because it's like, again, Tone, just show us this shit. Just say the Rascals are here tonight after whatever they're having this match. Boom, on to the next one. Short and sweet. Like you just explain it on the show. Show a package of what the Rascals have done since they've been here. They just gave up on Rascals vignettes and packages and promos and stuff. Already they did. And that's what I'm fucking trying to tell you guys. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Rascals went out of pocket to film their own Treehouse shit.
The singles debut of Myron Reed, who looks excellent. I think Myron
looks
Reed
excellent.
Looks
wow, don't you think? Myron Reed, fucking most sought after guy, one of the most sought after guys on the indies after last year, last couple of years especially. Oh, you think he looks great? He looks solid, doesn't he?
Singles match against Mansoor. That was a really fun match on ROH. And Wentz and Xavier have been tremendous as a tag team. These guys can do it all, singles, tag teams, trios, and they're looking for a fight. You know, Myron really wants to follow up on his big singles win from ROH this week. He wants to make a singles debut in AEW. And he had a great debut against Mansoor. Mansoor's partner, the most experienced member of the trio, Johnny TV, is somebody that would really like to get his hands on Myron after Myron made his debut.
So this is the problem, right? Like the division's called the 6-man tag division in ROH, Tone. I know you don't give a fuck about any of this, really. You just like to make matches. So you have the 6-man titles in ROH. So why are the Rascals carrying over their feud to Collision from ROH, and you're doing ROH in a shitty little studio, so it's just Rampage but shittier with less people? What the fuck are we doing? Make it its own unique show with its own unique identity and have the trio of the Rascals fight against the trios of MXM and Johnny TV for the 6-man tag, or the trios. You keep calling them fucking trios, but it's the 6-man in Ring of Honor, but it's trios in AEW. Because you're fucking cooked and fried, dude.
Debut here at the expense.
Shit, you smoke's greener than that tie.
Of Mansoor. So I think that'd be a great match, and I want to see Myron on TV. So Myron's going to step into the ring with Johnny TV tonight. And Johnny TV, this would be the first time we've seen him in AEW since his head was shaved totally bald in Mexico. So that's a different look for Johnny TV. Speaking of the Rascals, Wentz and Xavier, they want to fight too. They're one of the top tag teams in AEW, and they're looking for a big match tonight.
Bro, this is so boring. Like, what? Did he write this down? Did he write this all down?
Tonight, and knowing that Wentz
Quick, flip the cue card.
And Xavier have picked up some huge wins over some top stars, including the World Tag Team Champions, knowing that Wentz and Xavier have been maybe a fraction of an inch away from becoming the World Tag Team Champions, I think they would be top challengers. And there's a couple of top stars here that are also looking for a fight tonight. So Wentz and Xavier are going to step into the ring with Mark Davis and the TNT champion, the protostar Kyle Fletcher. It'll be the Don Callis family versus the Rascals tonight. And with the TNT champion in the match, and knowing all the great wrestlers in the Don Callis family, and knowing the quality of these young Rascals, I think that's going to be.
So they're fighting the cat. So he said all of that and talked about MXM to then say they're fighting the Callis family. Dave Meltzer watches these videos and
The
was
best
like,
guys,
oh,
Tony Khan.
It's the best booking, Brian.
This
This is spectacular. Holy fuck, man. What the fuck? He seems extra bored, hey? He seems extra, like, not into
a
this
great
at all.
tag team match with Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis versus Wentz and Xavier. Speaking of the top tag teams, the Brawling Birds. What a tag team. They're here. The Brawling Birds are looking for a fight. The Brawling Birds are going to step into the ring
You were just talking about a trios, asshole. You weren't talking about a tag.
tonight, and anytime they're in action, that's always something very exciting to watch. That's minutes away.
Leave the bad segues to me, pal.
Saturday Night Collision tonight. And one more note here. It's kind of an interesting thing backstage. I was approached by the winners of the $200,000 match.
Oh, so he's still doing those?
Out spending their money, and their former World Tag Team Champions, Private Party. We saw them pick up a great 4-way win. We saw that they defeated some of the top teams, their former champions, and they made
everyone's the top teams. Everyone's a top team to Tone. And that's like Dave. Well, he's a top guy. He's not a top guy, but he's a top guy. But it's not a top guy. It's not a top guy, but he's a top guy. And that's the same thing with Tone. I mean, they beat many of the top tag teams. And speaking of top tag teams, we have some lower tag teams, but they're top too. Top down Tone.
really impressive return to AEW. Private Party out looking for a fight tonight. And there's somebody to match up against them that they have a lot of history with. You see, before Private Party won the championship, they stepped up to the Death Riders.
Then show it on the show.
Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley has been out here. We've seen Jon Moxley, of course, now is going to fight Will Ospreay, and he's looking to take on the top high flyers in the sport. And
Why is Moxley trying to take on the top high flyers? Why is he a babyface and the rest of his crew is heels?
Jon Moxley and Daniel
For no fucking reason. Literally just because after the C2, after he buried everyone in the C2.
Garcia, along with Marina Shafir, take on Skyflight, Zeta Steel and Top Flight. Top Flight are top high flyers. And
So Top Flight are top high flyers. Do you guys hear this shit? You guys see why I'm so fucking crazy? Listen to this. That's not a top guy. They're not top guys. Well, they're not top flight guys either, who are top high flyers. Top Flight are top high flyers, but they're not top guys, Brian. This is what Tone and Dave call each other and talk about and say to each other. And this is why people are so fucking like, this is ridiculous. You guys are retarded. You don't understand. This is like internet conversation bullshit. Redactedness.
we saw John Moxley and Daniel Garcia along with Marina Shafir
Listen to this.
take on Skyflight, Zeta Steel and Top Flight. Top Flight are top high flyers.
So they're not just high flyers, they're top high flyers. And they're also called Top Flight.
And
not to be confused with our not top high flyers, who are also top high flyers.
And that was a great match.
Because they're not top high flyers, but they're top tag teams that they competed against in all of the top tag team four-way that you were talking about before.
Well, Mox and Garcia are looking for a fight. Garcia is really somebody that I would say was a very close friend of Isaiah in particular. Really, Garcia and Private Party were close friends. Mox and Garcia, they have stepped up to the challenge. It'll be Mox and Garcia versus Private Party tonight on AEW Collision. There are so many exciting things taking place tonight. This is going to be such a big lineup, multiple championship fights, multiple champions. We have the Continental Champion, the TNT Champion. We've got the International Championship at stake. And
so everyone's a champion, and we just got every title you've ever fucking heard of or never heard of, and they're all just on this show. Tune in.
Of course, the Women's World Tag Team Championship at stake. And I can't wait for this Wednesday night. There's so much to look forward to.
There's more top guys and more top flight guys and more top titles
in Winnipeg, and there's so much to look forward to. Minutes from right now, it's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. AEW Collision tonight. Don't miss it.
God, what a fucking cringe, Lord. My prediction is Winnipeg, April Fool's Dynamite. Jericho comes out and he goes, I'm the cornerstone of AEW. And then he tries to usurp power, and then he puts like a team behind him again, and then Kenny and the Bucks got to try and take him out, and they're like, no, we're the OG elite, man. And it'll be some shit like that. That's my prediction. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the best guys, Tony Khan. And that was AEW News. Guys, we spent like 3:45, almost 4 hours together. Round of applause for the PWT universe. You guys are beautiful. I gotta piss. It's a late one too. I'll try and get on earlier for the East Coasters. I'll try and get on earlier. I know it's like 11 or pushing fucking midnight or something over there in the East Coast right now, but thank you guys for being here. I leave you all with some brand new Becca and Hapazin, and I will see you guys on Member Monday, and we're gonna have a fun show. Thank you all. Love you all. I'm spent, and I'm out of here. Be good to each other. Peace.
Becca, please, no more shots. It's B3CCA and Hapazin, bitch. Step into the party and they all know me. Life of the party, I get in for free.
I live for the party. I wanna pop some Molly. Might get a little naughty. Meet my girls in the lobby. Cause we all wanna party. We wanna rock our bodies. Step into the scene and the whole club copy. Girls like us, we don't give a fuck. Girls like us, we party and get drunk. Girls like us, we don't give a fuck. Girls like us, we party. Give a fuck, 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 give a fuck. Watch me take my shots in the VIP. We're just getting started, ain't gonna stop till 3.
Wait, I said stop till 3. Yeah. Who is that? I don't know. Let's go look. Okay. What do you want?
Could we join?
Girls only. Girl. No. No. Girls only. No.
But we have party favors.
Okay. Come on.
Yeah.
It's B3CCA. Every day you know I slay cash. We looking like cash. Looks so good, want a piece of this ass.
Fast, I wanna go real fast. Hair down, ass up, give you whiplash. Gas, need to hit that gas. Pack it up, spark up, let me hit that. Vroom, vroom, bitch. Let me hit that. Let me hit that. Let me hit that. I wanna go real fast. Girls like us, we don't give a fuck. Girls like us, we don't give a Okay, maybe one more.